Restless, every turn felt like it was wrong, but I kept going to show I was strong, pushing to my own song. But you came, you made me see the weight I put on me was too much, too tough to heal. I needed time, I needed to be
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Start Your Systems. It is time to go Grand Prix racing, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, it is the 2020 Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Championship in MX Simulator. Getting ready to go down right now, live on SYS TV. Of course, my name is Kellen Brauer. Glad to be bringing you guys all the action for the GP season this year. Of course, we're kicking off tonight at Madley Bazin, the British Grand Prix, and we'll get a lot more kind of into that as the night goes on. So there's going to be a lot to talk about. Before we get started, before anything, of course, want to give a big thank you to everybody that tunes in, watches these broadcasts every single year, every single night that we have these broadcasts. You guys are here, and a huge shout out to every single one of you guys. And of course, Race Factor Gaming for, again, putting on a great series for us to be entertained by. We're going to have a lot of GPs over the next coming couple of weeks that will be completely live streamed and brought to you guys right here every Monday night. So you will not want to touch that URL bar for the next couple of hours. We're going to be bringing you guys a lot of fun action right here and live all night long. So before we get started tonight, let's go ahead and take a quick look at qualifying times, which have been happening for the last couple of days now or so. So this is not just these guys got the track a couple hours ago and they are only just now learning the track and they're trying to get it dialed in. This track's been out for a couple days, and this is what we're looking at for qualifying times. It's nice to see a lot of different countries involved here. This is still a North America series, so we're going to see a lot of Americans racing the GP scene tonight, of course. But Nathan Print on the 130 has the fastest qualifying time over Payson Johnson on the 351. But we got some of the usual suspects up here: Tyler Lang, Colby Eaglin, Jacob Hubbard, Braden Carter, Isaiah Dickerson. This is in the MX2 division, or the Open 250 motocross class, as they call it here. But we see a lot of the kind of common names that we see mixed in, or it's going to be interesting to see with these top two qualifiers, kind of how that dynamic is going to shake up and what exactly is going to happen with those two gentlemen. And then moving on to the 450 class, Alexis Leclerc. He is really, really good on these outdoor tracks. Of course, he is from France, so he's a little bit maybe more accustomed to European-style racetracks. And he is ready to do battle tonight. Laid down a 2:15.7, almost a second faster than second fastest qualifier Jack Haley, which was a 2:16.5 out of him. Adam Holm right there on a 2:16.6. Walter Gebhardt right there in the mix. Zach Prokop. And you can see down the order. Now, everybody that is in the top 36 in this grouping has already qualified into the motos. Everybody that is 37 on back will be headed to a consolation race, which we're going to be bringing you guys right here, right now. Let's take a look at how those 250 final spots kind of shook down. Looks like that final spot to Felix Anderson on the 102, the rider out of Sweden, just tipped Daniel Irvine. But again, some guys may not be here tonight, so we may see a couple of those last couple spots being filled by guys 37 through 40-ish. They'll end up in those top 36 spots, and we'll see more of the Julian Boehmer, Tanner Rogers, George Knights ending up in this consolation race, which, again, we're going to be bringing you guys right now. So let's jump back into the server and see what's going on. I think that they're just now about getting loaded in. I got to disconnect and reconnect because what else is new? But Madley Bazin, the British Grand Prix here in the hills of England. Such a lovely racetrack to actually look at, but oftentimes we end up having, you know, more inclement weather there, a little bit more of like rain or shine type of weather in Madley Bazin. And tonight, it's not going to be a problem. There is no rain on this racetrack. It's a video game. They have it perfectly groomed and set up and ready to go, and should be providing a lot of really good close racing for these guys to contend with. These GP tracks usually are pretty high speed, carry a lot of momentum from corner to corner. There's a huge jump in the middle of this racetrack. That's the uphill quad. Everybody kind of knows it matterly, and a lot of key points of this racetrack that we will be breaking down and discussing. But again, all of this will kind of come as we move on throughout the night. So again, just want to give a big thanks to everybody who is here and ready to watch the broadcast with us tonight on SYS here. Scooch forward a little bit. So here these guys are right now. I think they're either already racing or they're on their parade lap. Let me just double check. There's a lot of people in this consolation race. Let's see. Looks like it is 4 laps. Nope, they're getting ready to re-rack them. So again, 250 consolation race coming up. This is the MX2 division, and you're going to notice a lot of kind of shouting and some air horns and a couple other things going on in the audience here tonight. They have a lot of crowd noise piped into this racetrack this evening. So going to be interesting kind of hearing that as the riders go around the racetrack. But we're very excited to get racing action started off tonight. Jack Gatland coming in with a €2 donation. Jack Gatland is making his SYS Racing FamMX Designs debut tonight for our team. So big shout out to the man out of Great Britain at his home GP, making his pro debut in the NA series for us tonight. So really glad to have him on board, and he has already qualified his way into the 250 motos. But all these guys that we're looking at on the screen right now, we have got a host of riders. Jason Stubbs, Charles Gable, Chandler Bloxham, Bomer, Hans, Love, Nigren, Cochran, Peterson, McLaughlin, Darty. Oh my goodness, so many people. Heinzelman, Branson, who is going to get the whole shot? This is a 4-lap consolation race and only 4 riders go through. So who's it going to be as they are off and running the first moto, or the first race of the night, I should say, in Matterley Basin. A lot of guys going down, big pile up. A couple guys collected on that inside line, got pushed wide, and it's going to be Daniel Irvine on the 872 Takatoji racing machine. A lot of new teams as we transition out of Supercross into the outdoors. So gonna have to follow some of the new teams, but you gotta watch out for Dylan Love on the MXLocker.com number 174 trying to get up the inside. Oh, and a couple other people getting stuck in the corner there as Love almost went down. Lewis Williams, he now moves up into the 2 spot for SwapMotoLive.com. Dylan Love, he drops back to 3rd. And there is George Knight on the 157. He moves into that final transfer spot, but Cochran trying to get down the inside on the BPC number 266. Oh, and he sends it in, makes the pass temporarily, but Knight trying to fight back alongside, almost gives him a little love tap there. Cochran from off track will remake that pass, and Knight's gonna have to settle back in as Cale Braden is in the mix. We've got Noah McLaughlin also right there. So all these guys kind of funnel into this double in the middle of the racetrack, and here comes the big uphill quad. Not many of these 250F guys would be likely able to clear this, but let's see. A couple guys actually are going for the send. Cochran gets it clean. They funnel in here as Daniel Irvine through the wave section first lap. The 872 machine has opened up a small gap on the rest of the field already, and that is huge in these consolation races because you do not want to get stuck in the mid-pack battles and lose a lot of time to your compatriots that are running out front. So here is Williams in 2nd. Dylan Love has gone down. He was in 3rd. He's going to lose several positions and drop back just inside of the top 10. He gets up in front of Mason Doherty there. Austin Bear was able to go by, as was George Knight. McLaughlin also went through. Braden is up into 4th now. He's in that final transfer spot, and he's trying to catch Casey Cochran here. Uphill triple, and the F's curves before the finish line jump. Still Daniel Irvine leading this thing. 1 lap down, 2 laps to go. These 250Fs trying to squeak all the power out of these bikes that they possibly can as the time clicks by. They'll swing around this last turn and onto the start straight, and you can see Irvine actually is being caught just a bit by Lewis Williams there. Irvine down by the mechanics area. Continues to hold the race lead over Lewis Williams, Casey Cochran, and Cale Braden, the top 4. Battle for 5th brewing. McLaughlin here has George Knight and Austin Bear coming down on his outside. Bear on that 37. consistent front runner and top 10 finisher in the GPs last year. That's what got him that number 37, but now he is under attack from McLaughlin and George Knight here, and he is outside of a transfer position as well, which is not exactly what he was hoping for tonight. Oh, a little sideways there at the bottom of the hill, and Bear goes wide, so he's going to cough up a position or two. That is McLaughlin on the 124 going through. George Knight's trying to get up the inside. Bear's going to have to take the middle rut. And Dylan Love, after having his momentary crash there, is back up and into the mix here. Bear's going to try to go around the outside, uses that middle rut. Oh, little kind of catch on the outside there. And I think that is going to allow... Oh, man, Dylan Love just cased so hard on the quad. And also going down there was George Knight. George Knight just went down. He went for the quad and went down. JT George, Brandon Nygren here. We got Tanner Rogers swinging around the outside. So a lot of names we pretty commonly see mixed in these groups trying to fight their way forward. Tanner Rogers, a former winner in the Supercross division for Race Factory Gaming. So he'll want to try to compete towards the front. Dylan Love just can't catch a break these first couple laps. Early fall here in this swooping right-hand corner, and oh my goodness, what a save there by the 284 JT George, and then he gets into the back there of, that was Doherty that was down. So Mason Doherty went down. I think he also went down with Nygren perhaps, as we also have Bear hitting the deck on the 37, so nobody wants to fight for these final transfer spots, as going down there was George Knight on the 157. So let's kind of reset things again as we have moved on to lap number 3. Halfway through this consolation race. 4 riders going to be heading out of this one to race into the main motos, which will be coming up here in just a couple moments. Right now, Daniel Irvine, the man on the move, at the front of the field. Lewis Williams trying to settle in behind him on the 193. You can also see there's a couple kind of like invisible looking bikes and riders laying around the racetrack. So those are riders that have disconnected from the server, and I have the lens flares or whatever it is on, so it shows those bikes still. But I could always turn it off if too many people are disconnecting. Down to the bottom of the hill. Ooh, tuck of the front wheel for Williams. And he'll lose a little bit of time in the process. Cale Braden's moved up into third, so he's in front now of Casey Cochran. In fact, Cochran has lost a few positions. It looks like he's back into 6th now as McLaughlin goes through. He's brought Tanner Rogers with him, and this is now the battle for the final transfer spot. Inside roller dropping down. Up the hill, Rogers goes for the quad. Oh, he almost lands on the back of McLaughlin, but the 124 machine will hold the spot for now. Let's see if Rogers can size him up heading into the wave section. Same line, going far inside, but he's going to try to... No, he does not go for the triple, and instead he might lose a spot here because Cochran has closed up right behind him again. So 3-rider battle here for that final transfer position. It is McLaughlin, it is Rogers, and it is Cochran. Oh, Rogers into the hay bales there. Just a little tick of the inside hay bale, but keeps it up on 2 wheels. And just as fast as he caught McLaughlin and was putting pressure on him for 4th, he is being caught from behind now as Casey Cochran goes around the outside. He's going to try an inside move on the race tech table. Does he get the land into the inside? He tries it again, and Rogers still holding it on around the outside. They're going to go bar to bar up the uphill triple. Cochran has the inside here. Let's see if he holds the position. He does. A nice little crossover move to block the line, and Rogers has to counterattack, goes middle rut, and they're still almost side by side as they hit the finish line jump. Now a little table after the finish line jump, and Cochran may just have this pass done. No, Rogers fighting back down the inside. He's going to go to the inside rut, and Cochran around the outside is not able to hold it, so Cochran made the pass and then left the door wide open. Rogers able to get back down underneath him and make that pass back, as we are now on the final lap of this race. And Rogers Looks like he's found his groove again. He's coming back after McLaughlin. He's going far inside rut here. Let's see if he gets it. He's going to try to cut over. Up the little uphill triple here. Far inside for McLaughlin. Second rut for Rogers, and he will indeed complete that pass on the 499 Mad Cape ride. Tanner Rogers up into the final transfer spot, but this is far from over. These guys applying all kinds of pressure. Rogers trying to squeak away with about 3/4 of a lap to go. Cochran in the background. Oh, did he get that pass done? He did. Just barely thread the needle around the outside of McLaughlin. But that's what you got to do. Oh, McLaughlin jumps on his back and they both go down. Looked like a little bit of internet lag there for somebody. I'm not sure who, but there was definite kind of no contact right there. Didn't look like they hit each other, but they definitely had a little bit of a bump in the air, and then suddenly McLaughlin landed on the back of Cochran. It allows Brendan Nygren to get through, but Tanner Rogers now has a gap to work with. And Irvine has coughed up the lead. Cale Brayton's moved into second. Lewis Williams on his way to potentially taking the victory here in the consolation race. And he will be heading to the main motos. Of course, he'll have 37th gate pick, so not ideal, but a fairly even start here in Matterley Basin. Long start straight. Big left-hand first turn sweeper. So if you can get a jump, it's not impossible to get a good start from that outside gate. That's exactly what Lewis Williams will be trying to do here in just a few moments as he comes through the final corner. And the consolation race at the British Grand Prix goes to Lewis Williams. Cale Brayton, he'll cross the line second. Daniel Irvine ends up third. And Tanner Rogers will stamp his ticket into the motos with a fourth. Brandon Nygren, he was the first man out looking in. On the 510, Casey Cochran, he was in transfer and crashed his way back to sixth, so he'll be bummed about that. Dylan Love, he was in transfer as well and crashed his way out. Noah McLaughlin, right in that frantic battle down to the very end. Charles Gable, George Knight, JT George, Chris Post, Brent Heitzelman. It's a name we haven't seen in a long time. But good to see the 929 back racing. Not going to make it in the motos tonight, though. Cameron Dowell, Jason Stubbs, Joe Wagner, going to make the move there on Stubbs, but this is all just for glory back here. None of these guys will be racing in the main motos tonight. Mike O'Brien, Ethan Holland, Julian Bomer, Brian Brinker, Tyler Moses, Chandler Bloxham, Mason Doherty, Austin Bear, Johnny Mayo, Darius Peterson, Cody Branson, Tyson Parliament, Colt Hans, Nathan Guy, I love that name. That's a great name. Trevor Spencer, Mo Meadow, and myself in warm-up. Not heading to the main motos tonight. But at least our front four will be. Barring cuts, we'll have to wait for them. And Lewis Williams going to be excited about going right through out of this consolation race. Not having to think much about it either, as he took an easy victory in the end of it after Daniel Irvine coughed it up with about a lap to go. So we wait for cuts to confirm our top four going through. Look at this packed house here. Matterley Basin, British Grand Prix. Good to see all the fans turned out. Flags galore and more cowbell indeed. All right, there we go. Cuts are in and top four stays the same. Rogers, Irvine, Brayton, Williams heading to the motos. All right, so I believe we are doing 250, 250, 450, 450 format. So I believe we are heading right into 250 moto number one, but not going to be 100% sure of that. But I do want to say, once again, a very quick thank you to everybody that's tuning in tonight, watching round number one of the Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Championship live here on Start Your Systems TV. Of course, my name is Kellen Brauer. We're going to bring you guys the action here for the next 4 motos of racing tonight. And at the end of it, we'll crown a couple of GP winners and get this season underway. It's going to be a 10-race series, and we're going to have as many of them live as possible. Many of you know that my wife and I are expecting our first child at the end of this month, so some of the races around that time may not be live. If I can get a fill-in broadcaster, I may still have live broadcasts, but at the very least, they will be like tape-delayed races that I'll rewatch the demos and stream them. So try to get as many of these live as possible, but at least for the first couple, we're definitely going to have some live racing and some good Grand Prix action now that we have got the night started. We also know how this track seems to be racing. Looks like a lot of different lines available here tonight at Madley Basin, which is always a good sign, especially when you have more of the fast guys on the racetrack. They can really kind of switch up their lines and kind of shape things a little bit differently. Going to be curious to see how the track kind of breaks down with the road. We're going to have, the 30-minute plus 2-lap motos, so by the end of the races, we're going to see some ruts be not really usable and some ruts still be pretty usable. So I think guys are going to probably do a lot of searching around. I think you're going to see at the beginning of the race there's going to be some certain fast lines that everybody's going into, and then you'll see a transition point later in the race when ruts get too deep or chopped up or whatever, and a lot of different options. So good racetrack tonight, good time, and excited to bring you guys again all the action. We're going to be heading into 250 of Moto number 1, I believe, in just a minute. Let's double check in the server. Yep, 250 motocross, Moto number 1 coming up next. And good to see everybody in chat. 186 of you guys just taking a look. See if I missed any questions. Gonna stream EU race tomorrow? No, I'm not. EU happens when I'm at work, so I can't do that, unfortunately. Next track walk. MX Bikes track walk should be coming tomorrow. MX Sim track walk, I believe, will be coming Friday. Yeah. All right. Let's go racing tonight, folks. Let's head back in game and get excited because 40 of the best riders in MX Simulator are heading to the start line right now. And they're going to do battle for 30 minutes plus 2 laps. Of course, if you've never watched either a pro motocross or a Grand Prix race in real life, it is essentially the same format. The only difference is that we're not having a break between 250 and 450 motos. We're doing all the 250s at once. So we just saw the Consolation Race going right into 250 moto number 1, which is the MX2 race number 1. And then there will be a quick, about 5-minute break. We'll have a little intermission there. I'll talk to the chat a little bit, get you guys involved, and head right into race number 2 for the MX2 division. I think we'll probably go off the air, or maybe we'll stay on the air. I haven't decided yet. But then we'll get thrown into the 450 Consolation Race, and then MX1 Race 1 and MX2 Race 2, or MXGP Race 1, whatever you want to call it. I like MX1. I think calling it MXGP is a little weird, but anyway, yeah. Probably 3.5 good hours of live coverage for you guys tonight. And, oh yeah, gonna look nice and good on the stream. So again, thanks everybody for joining. Hope you guys are having a good time. Be sure to show your support if you guys haven't already and you are enjoying yourself here so far. I know that we're not watching a ton of racing just yet, but we're about to. Hit the like button. Let us know that you're enjoying your time here tonight watching the first round of the Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Championship. And, just keep chatting up a storm. I see you guys are already pretty involved in the chat, and appreciate that. See, Matthew Minnis says, is YouTube your full-time job? No, it is not. My full-time job, which is a lot of my job these days because I kind of work crazy hours, but I am the online content editor at RacerXOnline.com. So RacerX Illustrated, you guys have probably had that magazine before, or maybe you visited RacerXOnline.com recently. So I'm the online content editor there. I work very closely with Jason Wygant, who's the editorial director, and my basically co-assistant, whatever you want to call him. He is the online content manager, I believe his title is, Mitch Kendra. Great team over there, really, really good people. And we've been trying to do the very best to bring you guys all the coverage for real Supercross racing, which has just started up this past weekend. But if you guys are interested in supporting me individually instead of just SYS, head over to racerxonline.com/subscribe. Subscribe to the magazine. You can get a digital print for 99 cents, 3 digital prints for 99 cents, or you could get the full subscription, which comes with the 3 magazines and the digital copies for $2.99. Or you could just get a full year subscription and really help me out. That'd be great. But head over to racerxonline.com/subscribe. Check it out today. All right, checking out chat as we're loading in here. Outdoor season starts very soon. I can't divulge that information, but just keep a lookout. And D-Paz, which I think is Daniel Paz, just says, I got to keep my eyes peeled for Payson Johnson. Yeah, second fastest qualifier tonight, Payson Johnson. He's looking to come out swinging. We'll see how he's able to do as these guys right now are finishing up their parade lap. And we are just about set to go racing. First Grand Prix race of the season. It is MX2 Race 1 on the racetrack right now. Excuse me. All right, folks, it is time to go. For the first time this season, Grand Prix racing is about to begin in MX Simulator, the 2020 Pro Race Factory Gaming North American Championship. The World MX Simulator Grand Prix is set to go in about T-minus 20 seconds here till gate drop at Matterley Bays, and it's the British Grand Prix. It's the MX2 class. And if you guys aren't already excited, it's time to get excited right now. Got to get loaded in. There we go. They're on the gate. Those revs are up. We are ready to go race in Grand Prix style in 2020 as we are off and running race number 1 in Matterley Basin. They drop down off the gate and a couple other people getting swallowed up. Who's going to get the whole shot? It's a Honda to the turn first, but he swings way wide. Dickerson blew the first turn. His teammate Tyler Lang is going to pick up the whole shot on the 49 MV Films ride. Lang out front, right behind him, though. Ethan Gerst on the 260, he moves into second. Dickerson, he finds himself back in third, but he's going to go around the outside as Gerst dumps it out a second early on, and he's going well backwards, and it's teammates battling for the lead as they drop down off the table, but keep an eye out for Hubbard on the outside here, as instead, Lang's trying to hold on to the lead from Dickerson. Hubbard's trying to get in the mix. Frantic action first couple corners here. So they drop down into the midsection, and it is going to be Hubbard making the move on Dickerson, who swung wide. And Hubbard on that Blast MX number 75 has moved into the 2 spot. Dickerson settles in right behind him as all these guys trying to find some space early on. We got Nathan Prin, the fastest qualifier, the rider out of France there on the Impact number 110 machine. He's up in a good position. He'll be excited about that start, trying to get his Grand Prix championship started off on the right foot as we go up the hill the first time. And Hubbard starting to put pressure now on your race leader, Tyler Lang. So Tyler Lang not able to get away scot-free here. Jacob Hubbard clearly has a bit between his teeth and wants to close up for this lead as fast as possible. Look at Dickerson swinging wide, goes for the triple in, but he's going to have to settle for the double out. So they head up to the very tippy top of the hill, this double jump, the Ride365.com double jump. And it's still Tyler Lang, MV Films number 49, out front leading, trying his best to open up a small lead here, I should say, on Hubbard. Front 3, definitely nose to tail here, though. Nothing in it between them. And not too far back of them, looks like a pass has been made. Logan Leitzel on the 76. Of course, Leitzel, he's actually racing the Real Life Pro Supercross Series that just happened last night. Leitzel racing in the 250 East Division in real life. So wherever he is staying right now, must be an Airbnb somewhere in Utah. He's running in 4th right now. And he's got the pass made on our fastest qualifier, Nathan Prin. So if you're looking for your favorite rider in the running order, check out the top of the screen. That running order will continue going on by. You can keep an eye on them if we're not watching your favorite riders or maybe focusing on some other battles. If you want to check in on where your guy is currently sitting in the standings. Oh, Hubbard all out of shape. But a nice job corralling it together now. Dickerson really starting to apply that pressure. He's going to take the outside line here and try to get a drive up the hill. Not going to be able to get it just yet, though. Oh, wow. Oh, and Hubbard blows the second rut there. So around goes Leitzel. Here comes Prin. We also have Jack Gatlin on the number 9 SYS machine. Yannick Mueller's back here. Dylan Cavacuti. We got Noah Viney, Lewis Williams fresh out of the Consi. Chase Donovan's up here. Trent Shepard, Daniel Mills, and Benjamin Saves in a bit of a freight train right here. This looks like it's back to about the 13 spot. Everybody jockeying for a position. These races are long though, 30 minutes and 2 laps, so you just want to try to settle into a pace early on. No need to go for a desperation pass early on in these races. Dropping down in and up the quad once again they go. nose high there for Viney. Trying to close up on Cavacuti. And these ruts are starting to slowly develop. You'll see as the race goes on, they'll get deeper and deeper. So let's peek back out front. It is still Lang controlling this thing on the 49 MV Films ride. Of course, coming off a terrific Supercross season, Dickerson right behind him, so these teammates know each other all too well. And just continuing on their battle, essentially. Let's take a look at lap times this time by. This is going to be the first full time by the timing boards. Up and over the finish line jump, 2:22.8 Lang, 2:22.5 Dickerson. So Dickerson has closed up a little bit, 23.4, 26 flat for Prin. Yannick Mueller, 26.6. So these guys out front laying down some absolute heat early on in the 2:22 second range. Keep an eye on those leaders out front. Nathan Prin trying to latch onto Leitzel and go after him. He's putting in a solid ride right now in the 4th spot. Yannick Mueller. He's moved up into 5th for JIBR Skull Candy Kawasaki. Noah Viney, Lewis Williams, Cavacuti, and Benjamin Saves peeking down the inside. The Architect number 54 trying to get a move done on the Takatoji number 177 of Cavacuti, but they're all funneling in. This is a tight-knit battle suddenly. As Leitzel's crashed his way back here. That's going to put Prin up into 3rd now, but Leitzel is right behind Viney and trying to get back by him. Lewis Williams still in the mix. Oh, there goes Leitzel down the inside. Viney cutting back underneath. Does he have a move? No, Leitzel shuts the door and holds it on. So Noah Viney, the Underground RC 143 machine, just ahead of Lewis Williams as they head over the rollers up the hill. It's a little floater double, and then most of these guys seem to be tucking inside using that roller. Then trying to downside this table so they can get just enough drive to seat bounce the quad up the hill. Don't want to case that thing. See riders go down in the Consolation Race. And cost themselves some transfer positions. Ooh, Viney almost got a line back there on Leitzel. Leitzel not able to get away from these guys just yet. Going 2-3-2 in the waves. And everybody electing... Forget about those pre-made ruts. We're just going to develop our own rut on the inside of them as Williams gets a little swapped out. And then right behind him, Benjamin Saves got a little hiccup as well, so Cavacuti went around him. Saves gets going right behind him. Here's Hubbard, who's up front early. He's lost a couple spots. Tyron Tilmich, the rider out of Australia, just got passed by Trent Shepard. And Jack Gatlin there on the 9 trying to get into the mix as well. So Shepard on the 78. First time we've seen him on the QM1 ride. Oh, rider down. That was Hubbard. Hubbard on the 75. More problems. How about this inside move for Tomic? He's trying to get alongside on Shepard. Might have an inside move here. Gets to the inside, but has to use the whoops almost like braking bumps to get stopped for the corner. They both kind of mess up the apex of that run. Everybody's scrubbing over the finish line jump. Got kind of trialies going on there, not fully. Dualies, trialies, gotta love them all. Crossing over galore as Gatlin's trying to swing around the outside of Tomic. Oh, and Ryder has gone down. That's Benjamin Saves again hitting the deck. Benjamin Saves cannot stay on 2 wheels at the moment. Here's Tomic peeking inside of Shepard. Let's see if he gets the pass done here. He's got that inside line. Oh, but he's going to hit a downed rider. That's Lewis Williams. Just unfortunate circumstances there, coming right through that main rut and running into Lewis Williams. So that allows Shepard, I believe, to go back by. No, I'm sorry, that's Jonathan Alexander. Here's Daniel Mills, Lewis Williams, Ethan Gerst. Benjamin Saves. Holy smokes, look at this freight train of riders suddenly mixed in here. This is about 7 back to 14 or 15 or so. Many riders in the air at the same time. Riders gone down. That was the 143 machine. Or was it? No, it was Williams again on the 193. Looked like 143. Let's head back to this battle coming up the hill, though. Tomic right behind Alexander. Daniel Mills off the front of this group. Benjamin Saves, Ethan Gerst. Here is Colby Eagland on the Panini number 57. So all these guys dealing with each other, and up front, Tyler Lang is still under heavy attack right now from Isaiah Dickerson. Let's go on board with Dickerson and take a look at what the track is looking like early in the runnings, creeping up on the 10-minute mark, so not even yet a third way through this race, and all the action going on. You can see the track map in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. It is just, you can see the top 7 or so riders pretty spread out, and then 8 back to 15, 16, somewhere in there. Just manic action right now. So Dickerson, he had closed up on Lang, but he just lost touch with them a little bit. And they cannot be too wary here of Nathan Prynn, the fastest qualifier. He's lurking back here. Not out of the question he has something to say about this whole thing. I'm curious if he has the right number on. I think he qualified to the number 130. It looks like he has 130 on his back, but he has number 110 on his bike and number 130 on his pit board, so he's on the wrong bike. Not sure how that happened, but anyway, we'll run with it. Looking pretty sharp regardless. Logan Leitzel, he's moved back up to 4th, ahead of Yannick Mueller. Noah Viney's still running in 6th. Cavacuti just went down, he's in 7th. And we got Hubbard just ahead of Mills. Mills is in 9th. Tomich, Eagland, Gatlin, Shepard, Jackson, Gers, Donovan, Cross, Saves, and right behind him is Gonzalez on the 3, as down goes Cooper Hunt, I believe that was, or Noah Zoa Cross. Also coming into the mix, though, second fastest qualifier, Payson Johnson. Not sure if he had a bad start, but he is just inside of the top 20 here, trying to make his moves towards the front. Trying to pull alongside here of Kevin Gonzalez. This is a battle for 18th spot on the racetrack right now, so literally battles all the way through the points paying positions. They pay out through 20th. Up to the top of the hill, big tabletop at the very top of the hill, and Frank Jackson's looking for a move down the inside of Chase Donovan. Oh man, and Johnson right onto that back wheel of Gonzalez. Look at how close these guys all are. Many different lines being used. Jackson just looking for the opportunity, gets into the back of Donovan, and then punting out of the way. Kevin Gonzalez just moved Benjamin Saves on the 54 side. Payson Johnson there on the 351, trying to get back into the mix as well. See, Benjamin Saves has something to say about Kevin Gonzalez. Takatoji versus Architect right here for Benjamin Saves. Down the inside he goes. He's trying to get him back. And, tucks the front wheel. He's trying to cut the line off, but Gonzalez, gives him a nudge and pushes him out. And Johnson runs into the back of Saves, who went down. So everybody funneling on by. Jaden Wilson, one of the riders to go through. Here's Donovan, Gonzalez, Gersh, Shepard. Gatlin's lost a couple positions. Colby Eagland's still trying to fight his way forward. Tomich, Mills, Cavacuti, Hubbard, Mueller, Leitzel. Viney has actually gone around Mueller and Leitzel, so he's up into 4th. And Tyler Lang has lost the lead. Tyler Lang must have gone down. Nathan Prynn moves to 2nd, and Isaiah Dickerson is your new leader. But I'm telling you what, folks, we have got to keep an eye on Nathan Prynn. And as I say that, he goes down. The impact rider impacting the ground. Unfortunate circumstance there, as he was absolutely flying. 223.4, 239, and a 223.8 last time by for Dickerson. So Prynn was still laying in times that was catching the lead duo until obviously Lang went down. But now Prynn's got to regroup and try to find that same pace that he was running and hope that the guys up ahead have a few issues of their own. How about it though? Isaiah Dickerson trying to make amends for that lost title indoors. Immediately finds himself at the front of the field here. MX2 Race 1 of the British Grand Prix, opening round of the Race Factory Gaming Grand Prix Championship in MX Simulator. And Isaiah Dickerson, 260 MV Films, is leading. Lang has moved back in his 2nd ahead of Nathan Prynn. And this trio is gone. Leitzel back here in 4th, looking at a pretty hefty gap to close up on these guys. Jacob Hubbard still in 5th. Noah Viney quietly putting in a great ride right now in 6th on the 143. He's got to deal with Dylan Cavacuti here pretty soon, and Daniel Mills coming up from behind. All these guys trying to go for the big send on the quad up the hill, and Cavacuti hits the deck because of it. Oh man, and this freight train was so close to him that they're just going to start funneling by. He lost 3 spots there. May lose another as Gatlin's trying to sneak around the outside on the 9. But Cavacuti holds the position for the time being. So let's see back what's going on up here. Looks like Yannick Mueller has been passed by Colby Eagland of the Panini ride, the number 57. So Eagland on the charge. Let's take a look at his lap times. 2:24.7 last time by, so comparable with the lead group. Not exactly those 2:23s that they were running, but also not too far off that either comparatively to some guys around him. How about Tomic, though, in the 2:24s as well, with a 2:24.4 of his own right. These guys running some of their best laps of the race last time by. Curious to see what the times are looking like this time by. Through the final corner they go. It's a 2:25.2 for Eagland, 2:25.9 Tomic. And up ahead, Daniel Mills just laid down his best at a 2:24.6. You can see he's clearly going after Viney here on the 143. He swings outside. Let's see if he gets to drive down the straightaway. Yes, indeed. Viney not going to have an answer there. And Viney had a bad last lap. So that has cost him not only some time, but some positions at this point. Tomic and Eagland still trying to keep tabs on that group just ahead of him, though, as they try to march their way up into the top 5. Can't lose the World Grand Prix Championship at the opening round. Or, I'm sorry, you can't win it, but you can certainly lose it. Got that phrase all backwards. So these guys trying to not lose it today. Bad start in the first moto doesn't help some of these guys' case, but they're doing their best to charge forward. Oh, Tomic. Little bit of the off-track excursion there, but might have the pass done on Viney. Viney fights back. Tomic still trying to get to the inside, bumps him, and just absolutely sends Viney to the outside. And unfortunately, Eagland was already there. He gets punted off the track, so a little bit of aggressive riding there for Tomic. Forced Viney into Eagland, and Eagland gets the brutal end of the stick there as he goes down. Allows Daniel Mills to open up a bit of a gap on them. So Hubbard just ahead of these guys. Leitzel, Prin still mixed in, and Dickerson has gone down. So Tyler Lang is back into the lead, and this Prin-Dickerson battle is suddenly really good. And I want to take a look at lap times because this is the first full lap Prin's done since that crash. Curious if he's back into those 2:23s that we were seeing earlier. Dickerson obviously just had a fall of his own, so he's not going to be in that same boat. But let's see what he does here. 2:24.3, and Dickerson did lay down a 2:33, so definitely had a bit of a fall of some kind, and battle is on right now for second. Nathan Prin, fastest qualifier, proving he is every bit as fast as these American riders that we've seen all season long in the Supercross season. Dickerson must be thinking to himself, he had no idea that this dude could run this pace. Sometimes these American guys, they don't often get to race all series. Some of them race the EU Championship, but some don't. So it's really a cool experience when you have someone like Prin, who probably has been racing the EU Series this whole time and doing very well, show up and show these guys that he is pretty darn fast. All right. Just coming up to the 18-minute mark in the race, let's go ahead and do a quick top 20 rundown, and this one is going to be brought to you by the fine folks at RaceFactorGaming.com because they have put on another terrific series here for us in the Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Championship, and we are off and running here this season at the British Grand Prix. Out front, MV Films number 49, Tyler Lang had the lead earlier, crashed, got back up, and got back around his teammate Dickerson, who crashed the lead away himself. So it's still MV Films 1-2, but Lang now the head of the train. Dickerson, as mentioned, has moved back into second, and he's trying to hold off the challenge right now from Nathan Prin, the fastest qualifier out of France, on the Impact number 130. He's actually on the 110 Suzuki there, but you can see 130 on the back. And he is trying to close up on Dickerson, make this another battle for second here very, very quickly. Jacob Hubbard, he's had an up and down moto so far. He was battling with the lead group early on and crashed his way backwards, but now he's up in 4th on the VlastMX.com number 75. And Logan Leitzel, somewhere in the great state of Utah, in between racing real life pro supercross, is racing the Grand Prix Championship here, and good to see that he's inside of the top 5 on the number 76. Daniel Mills, he's clawed his way up into 6th. Last time we were racing on Start Your Systems for broadcasting purposes, Daniel Mills took the win at the Salt Lake City Showdown, to the East-West Showdown. So the Jack Daniels Racing number 44 machine trying to pick up where he left off with another solid finish to start the year in the Grand Prix circuit. Yannick Mueller just got ran into the back of there, but he is still on 2 wheels, the rider out of Germany on the JIBR Skull Candy number 336. He's in 7th, and Noah Viney takes advantage of, I believe that was Eaglin going down, to move up to 8th. So Viney on the Underground RC143 is now in the 8th spot as he goes over the race tech table. Tyron Tomic on the 311 Connect Visuals is up in 9th right now. He's had a kind of an up and down moto too. He's been right around the top 5 positions most of this race, but some crashes have also hampered his progress. He's trying to regroup and go back after those top 5 positions. And here's Colby Eaglin, who we saw just go down, and he was down the last time we saw him on the Panini 57. Has had to deal with a bad start and some unfortunate circumstances, but he's inside of the top 10 and still trying to march forward as he goes down the inside, looking for a move on Tomic. As the top 10 moving back, we have Payson Johnson, second fastest qualifier, and the privateer number 351 is in 11th. Jack Gatlin on the number 9 SYS FamMX Racing Machine is in 12th in his pro debut for the team. Tim Friedrichs on the JIBR Skull Candy ride, another rider out of Germany there on the 471. He is in a pretty good position here in 13th. Dylan Cavacuti on the Takatoji number 177. He's running 14th right now ahead of Kevin Gonzalez, his teammate on number 3. And this is a frantic battle here. Gonzalez in 15th, trying to not get passed by Braden Carter, but Carter may just get it done, and he will. Braden Carter on the number 18 Panini Motorsports ride has made the move up into 15th, and he might not be long for 14th here as Gonzalez drifts back to 16th. 17th right now for Trent Shepard on the 78 QM1 ride. And Shepard has been kind of hovering around this 10 through 15 group most of the race, but now finds himself back in the 17th spot. Bryce Whelan runs 18th for Panini Motorsports, so he's trying to march his way towards the front. He just got a pass done, so he moves up to 17th. Jaden Wilson moves up to 18th on the Nova GFX number 720 machine. I believe that is 720 or 726. It's 720 for Jaden Wilson. So he's running 18th, 19th. Cooper Hunt on the VlastMX.com number 304. So seen Cooper Hunt in the Supercross season, back out here racing outdoors. He is running in the 19th spot. And Cavacuti, who we saw earlier, has dropped back to 20th on the Takatoji. Behind him, Jackson, Cross, Donovan, Saves, Rogers, Leith Ness, Luke Sullivan. All these guys not scoring points, but they sure would like to be, and they're still trying to get up there as time winds down. That's been a top 20 rundown late in this race, brought to you by RaceFactorGaming.com. Back to your leader, Tyler Lang, dropping down the MV Films downhill there. And he is looking smooth as butter, and not really a lot of pressure right now from Isaiah Dickerson on the MV Films number 260, his teammate, but they have been laying waste to the field in this first moto. Nathan Prynne has lost touch with Dickerson now, must have had another fall, so Prynne might have to settle for third in this moto, but still a terrific opening moto here, and a chance at the overall if he can go into this second moto and pick up the victory. Big shout out, Balin Jones in chat dropping $5, says, "What up, Kellen? It's been a minute. Did some practice starts earlier today with Anderson. Holy on Wednesday for sure. Sweet." So crazy that we're going to be racing Supercross on a Wednesday. Like, Sunday was already kind of weird, but it's a weekend, and now we're going like late night racing on a Wednesday. It's going to start at 8 local time in Salt Lake City, so that's 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. On Wednesday night, we're going racing again. Kind of a weird circumstance we're in right now with Supercross, but I'm glad we're having races, so I'm not complaining. Let's try to find ourselves a battle. How about Payson Johnson? He's climbed up to, is this 7th? Yes, it is. So Johnson, who has laid down a 2:22.9 during this moto, did a 2:23.5 last time by. He's up to 7th, and it appears like he may not be done as he's trying to reel in Daniel Mills up the road of him. Daniel Mills, Jack Daniels Racing number 44. But Johnson is coming. Colby Eagland, 57 on the Panini Motorsports machine here. And Yannick Mueller, not teammates with him, but still in the battle. Noah Viney still right in the thick of things as well. Whoops. Whoops. Pressed the wrong button. That's what happens when you press the wrong button. All right, back into the action. So Tomic trying to get around Noah Viney, and both of them are trying to do some work here on Yannick Mueller. Oh. 3 different world locations. Mueller out of Germany, racing on an American server for the Grand Prix Championship in front of an American Viney on the RC, or on the underground RC ride, and the Australian Tomic Connect Visuals right behind him. So literally, not only 3 different parts of the world, 3 different continents, all racing here tonight. So let's see if one of these guys can start making the move. Maybe Viney has an opportunity to close up here on Mueller and make something happen. Kind of blew that inside rut, and Mueller gets a good drive down the straightaway. Down by the mechanics area, 25 minutes down, 5 minutes and a lap left to go. Oh, Viney gets a swap down the hill. Big yard sale. And he's going to have to pick himself up, but not after losing a position to Yannick Mueller. Well, actually, Tomic gets twofer because Mueller went down as well, so Tomic goes up a couple spots there, trying to tail up with Colby Eagland. Oh, look at this. Payson Johnson and Eagland have both caught Daniel Mills, and Eagland, just like that's going to go around the outside of him, make the move. So these guys heading even further forward as now Mills goes down behind them. Can Mills get up before Tomic gets there? Tomic just coming up the hill right now. Will just get into frame right there. There he is. So Mills now under attack from Tomic, trying to hold the position. Just big launch on the uphill quad. These guys have to get such pop to get that one. And Mills made a small bobble again. Looks like he's starting to struggle a little bit with the deteriorating racetrack. And Tomic trying to take full advantage of that. Meanwhile, up front, things are close. Dickerson has caught Tyler Lang with just a few minutes here to go. Didn't want to cut away from that battle we were on, but this one looks like it's getting pretty saucy. Doesn't look like Prin's going to have anything to say about this, but let's go on board with Dickerson as he tries to tail his teammate. Can something happen here to change fortunes at the very end of this moto? Oh, Dickerson, a little off kilter on the ruts there. One second in it. Almost nothing at this stage in the race. Dropping back down the hill. Oh, there goes Lang. Lang goes down with the lead. Just out of the corner of my eyes, saw him flipping. It looks like he may have tucked the front wheel out of that third rut there. Oh, and he's going to be disappointed with himself. He had that one. Yes, Dickerson was closing, but Lang responding so well to the pressure, and just a slight lapse in concentration perhaps may have cost him this moto win. Still a couple minutes left, but unless something happens to Dickerson, Lang is going to be sitting second after the first of 2 races. Here's Nathan Prin, though, all alone right now in third, literally. Leitzel, Eagland, he's moved all the way up to 5th, so really solid ride for Colby Eagland. It's so tough to look at at this setup and not think of Darian Sinai. But there he is, Eagland on the Panini number 57. Payson Johnson up to 6th, Hubbard right behind him in 7th. And Hubbard has kind of been yo-yoing back and forth this whole race. He's been in 4th, he's been in 7th, he's been in 5th, he's been in 8th, he's been all over the place. Just can't quite get the job done though. Trying to get maybe a top 5 out of this at the very least, maybe make a pass here on Payson Johnson to get into 6th. With just a couple laps remaining, look at both of them now going outside that inside, just getting so dug out that nobody wants to go there, so they're swinging wide and tripling instead. Very interesting to see the track development. They've dug out that big inside rut enough that they're all comfortable using it. And 2 different lines here at the top of the hill, nearly identical speed through that corner. Then everybody tucks far inside here. Surprised this rut hasn't gotten dug out too deep yet. Everybody seems to be funneling in nicely there, and Hubbard just waiting for an opportunity maybe to jump on Payson Johnson here and make a pass. Big braking bumps down off that race tech table. And back up the uphill triple. S turns before the finish line jump, and these guys looking at probably 3 laps to go this time by. Because white flag should be waving for our leaders, although let's see, they are, well, they're going to get back to the flag in less than a minute. I guess it's going to be fairly close. Dickerson, I don't know, still has probably like 2/3 of the racetrack left to go. Probably not going to get back to the flag, so it should be 2-lap board coming out next time by for these guys. Lang not completely out of the picture. Neither is Nathan Prynn. Look at this though. 4.2 seconds Prynn, 2:25.6 to a 2:36 flat for Lang last time by, but we saw Lang obviously had a crash. Prynn trying to close this thing in late, maybe steal a second out of this. That'd be huge. Really not too far off the lead either. I mean, just as Prynn's about to enter the wave section here, the leader Dickerson has just exited the waves in front of him, so this is definitely not out of the question for at least a second place finish, if not a win for Prynn with a couple laps to go. Look at how huge those bumps are coming down the hill. Honestly, the TV cameras, just like in real life, just don't do it justice. When you actually go on board with these guys, you see how the track has changed and what it's looking like. Just such different. Oh, there goes Lang. Tyler Lang has crashed out a second, and there is second place for Prynn, as indeed we are 31 minutes now into it. I guess my timing was completely wrong. I'm just an idiot. But yeah, 2-lap board coming out this time by, and Prynn 8 seconds down as Dickerson crosses the line. 2-lap board out. And Nathan Prynn moved up to second. Dickerson's got to mind his P's and Q's here a little bit, not have another mistake up front, or he may cough away this victory, which MV Films has essentially been dominating this entire moto, and suddenly they are sandwiching Prynn, who's trying to sneak up and maybe get both of them by the end of this moto. They still have just such a big gap right now going on Leitzel. There's Eaglin, Payson Johnson still right behind him. Daniel Mills has lost touch with these guys. Jacob Hubbard can't decide what spot he wants to be in. He's crashed now and been moved behind Daniel Mills. Tomic still inside of the top 10. He's in 9th. And Kevin Gonzalez has quietly put the number 3 inside of the top 10. It is a pretty solid ride there for the Takatoji ride. Not out of the water just yet, though. Whelan and Carter, teammates on the Panini Motorsports ride, coming behind him. Trying to put in a late charge, and that was Cavacuti, I believe, that was down, so he's gone a lap down. Friedrich's off the back of these guys trying to get into the mix. So what is going to happen here? Can Gonzalez pull it off, or does Bryce Whelan have the speed to just blow by him? 2:28.1 for Whelan to a 2:29.5 for Gonzalez, but you really got to keep an eye on this 26.7 out of Carter, because he appears to be the man on the move in this group. Just made a small bobble that cost him some time to his teammate there, but not out of the water just yet. And they're catching Tomic in front of him too, and Mills for that matter. So this is all tightening up very quickly. And there's Hubbard right in front of them as well. So actually, this entire freight train going to be doing battle Just noticed up the road that Eaglin's been passed by Pace and Johnson. So Johnson has climbed his way all the way up to 5th. Terrific ride for the 351 as a white flag about to come out right now. 1 lap board to be displayed as Dickerson enters and exits the final corner. 1 to go. MX2 race 1. It's like that was maybe Noah Viney getting out of the way. Whoa, 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 what's going on here? That's not a good look. Fortunately, whoever that was just moved back out of the way, but that was not a good look when you're passing the leader with 1 lap to go. Ooh, battle for second brewing here. Lang, oh man, he's gonna go through the mechanics area. Fortunately, no collision files with the mechanics area, but gotta be wary of those tough blocks. And Prin just trying to hold on here for second if he can. Let's go back and take a look. Oh, Tomic has gone down. That's going to allow Carter through. Noah Viney will not get by. Tomic is going to get up ahead of him, but Tomic has lost spots to Carter and Whelan and Gonzalez. But here comes Whelan peeking down the inside. And he's going to switch up and go middle right here, second. And from the outside, going to come up side by side over the finish line jump with Gonzalez. This is now a battle for the 8th spot, I believe. See who gets to drive down out of this corner onto the start straightaway with 1 lap to go. Gonzalez really good defensive riding there, kind of checking up on that inside corner to kill the momentum of Whelan, so they both had a very similar drive and Whelan couldn't get something going on him. Dropping down the hill. Oh, and that was Hubbard that just went down. So this has moved up to 7th for these two. And Whelan trying to apply the pressure. Peeking back out front. Lang got back around Prin. So Tyler Lang has moved back up to 2nd. Nathan Prin has coughed up a podium, or I'm sorry, 2nd here, back onto the final step of the podium. With just a couple turns to go. We'll go back and take a look at that close battle there for 7th in just a moment, but watch our man cross the finish line here. First Grand Prix race of the season. MX2 race 1 belongs to Isaiah Dickerson. Tyler Lang, he'll take home 2nd. Nathan Prin looks like he's got 3rd locked up. Leitzel, Johnson, Eagland, and Gonzalez looks like he did get away from that Carter Whelan mess a little bit, but Carter and Whelan still pushing the envelope, trying to get back to Tomic, who had lost positions to both of them, and Hubbard's still just in front of these guys as everybody else starts trying to come over the finish line jump. And you can see Gonzalez just off the front of these guys. He has quietly found himself into a really good position late in this race. Don't count out Tomic though on the 311. 4th crosses the line was Leitzel. Oh man, nobody can get to that inside rut. They all blew it. And Gonzalez is holding strong right now. Fifth over the line, Payson Johnson 6 seconds ahead of Colby Eagland on the 57, and Kevin Gonzalez looks like he is going to pick up 7th here with just a couple turns to go. What a ride Kevin Gonzalez put on here. He came from pretty dang far back to get to 7th here. So he may be disappointed with that finish, but that ride was incredible. Tomic just beats out Carter for 8th. 10th goes to Whelan. Hubbard will have to settle for 11th after being in top 10 nearly the entire race. Yannick Mueller, he'll come across 12th. There's Noah Viney in 13th, and Friedrichs right behind him in 14th. Trent Shepard looking to get 15th here. Should have it under lock. Jack Gatlin back in 16th. Cooper Hunt. Oh, Jack Gatlin gets absolutely destroyed by Tyler Lang going backwards in the racetrack there. Not sure what that was about, but Tyler Lang just cost Jack Gatlin several positions by riding the track after the race was over. Not sure how Race Factory is going to score that one, but either way, it allows Well, Shepard was ahead, but Cooper Hunt goes by, Cavacuti goes by, Daniel Mills goes by, Donovan goes by, and Jackson goes by, which means Gatlin, who was in 16th, scores no points in this moto. Instead, Jaden Wilson, 22nd, Benjamin Saves, 23rd, 24th, Dennis Fjellberg, terrible moto there for the Flying Finn, and cuts are in, and it solidifies that Gatlin, who was in points comfortably, gets taken out by Tyler Lang after the race, and it causes him to not score points this moto. Really curious how Race Factory is going to score that one. That is definitely boneheaded move there for Tyler Lang. But Dickerson is confirmed as your race victor. Curious if anybody calls out T-Lang here. T-Lang looks like he's just hiding behind the keyboard a little bit. Anyway. So we have a little bit of a break coming up, a little 5-minute break on the way. So if you guys have any questions that you guys would like to ask in chat or anything you want to talk about, now would be a good time to do it. We're in a little bit of an intermission period here at Madeley Basin. Of course, Kellen Brauer here in the broadcast booth bringing you guys the action for the British Grand Prix, the first round of the Race Factory Gaming Grand Prix Championship in 2020. 194 live viewers here. Good to see all of you guys turn out tonight. Glad we could be bringing you guys some hot and heavy action. Looks like everybody's saying T-Lang will be protested for that. Kind of have to say, why not? No, Awood, I'm all good, boss. Thanks, though. Is Joey Savacci the biggest disappointment in the last 10 years? No. I feel like someone that has come that close to winning a championship that many times, he's won probably whatever, like 10, 12 races in his career. You can't say that's a disappointment. Like, I feel like someone, I don't want to say like a name, but there are plenty of people that are super, super highly touted amateur riders that have come up and done nothing, basically. Like, that to me is more of a disappointment than Savacci, who, he was a big name amateur, but he was not like top of the top when he turned pro, and he built himself into a championship caliber rider, a race winning rider. I think you can't say Savacci's a disappointment because of that. Like, he's on a factory 450 team, which a lot of people are not. He's won several 250 races. He's almost won championships. Yes, he kind of blew them, but still, like, it's kind of ridiculous. Let's see. What am I missing? I did not see the Mighty Co. Road to the Outdoor Championship Episode 1. I did not see that. Sim Outdoors are coming soon. More information to follow. So what you're saying is my career isn't a disappointment. No, Sean Klein, your sim career is not a disappointment because you've won races, you've finished second in the championship several years. Like, that's what always blows my mind. So, sidebar here for a second. There's so many people that say Alessi was like a bust. Like, got to the pros, never did anything with it. That is like ridiculously unfair. He won a lot of outdoor nationals. He was top 5 motocross rider in the world for a couple years, I would say. He was probably like the second best US rider, and like the time when he got ran over at Redbud and he was, you know, got like basically landed on by 5 guys, he was clearly the second best in that series. Like James was number 1, Alessi was number 2. And if you look at Europe at that time, Everts had retired, you had Philip Hertz winning world championships, Steve Ramon winning world championships. You could make an argument Alessi was the second best motocross rider in the world right then and there. And to say that he was a bust or a disappointment or whatever is ridiculous to me, because like he was really damn good. Yes, maybe he didn't win as many titles or championships as he was expected to or whatever because he won so many as an amateur, but that's what I'm saying is like you can't say a disappointment because he was really damn good. Like he was championship caliber race winner type of guy. Same for Savacci. Like I'm not going to try to be like super mean about it, but I would say like a disappointment in my eyes is like Nico Izzi, where Nico Izzi, highly touted amateur rider, right onto a factory team, never won a race, never was a championship contender, and was out of the sport after a couple of years. Like that to me is like he had it all and didn't take advantage of it, I guess. So that's what I'm trying to say. Jeremy said it's a racing incident in chat and no penalty. Okay, come on now. You're saying Tyler Lang rode backwards after the race, caused someone to lose 5 spots, not score any points, and that's a racing incident? Come on, Cohenauer. Come on. I don't have Mad Cape skins because they probably weren't in the thread, would be my guess. If they were, I'm sorry. I definitely downloaded everything in the thread, so I'm sorry I don't have it, but I delete everything after Supercross. I made that announcement in the Race Factory Discord last week. I have a solid state drive. The more skins that I have in my solid state drive, the harder it is to load into races, so it's absolutely useless for me to keep a bunch of stuff from Supercross when 90% of the teams have changed. Everybody has new skins, updated packs, some people have changed teams. I'm sorry that it screws a couple people over, but it's just if you want to be in the stream, you gotta keep putting your skin packs in the skins thread. The first one's the post? I have everything from the skins thread, I'm sure of it. Like I went through diligently and I re-downloaded like everything. And then on top of that, I had 7 people send me skins after 30 minutes before the stream started. And it's like, come on guys. Like first of all, not in the skins thread, which I tell everybody to do. Second of all, I'm not about to download like a 2 gig pack right before the stream starts. Like you guys got to get that stuff in sooner. Sim Outdoors is coming soon. More information to follow. Alrighty, folks. MX2 Race 2 coming up next. And then we're going to go off, not go off air. I'm just going to leave it on. Let you guys listen to a little bit of music while I take just a quick break. Maybe go grab another beverage. And then be back on the other side of that quick break for 450 action, MXGP class racing. All right, who are we watching on the start? Of course, it was the T. Lang, Isaiah Dickerson duo that ripped fat hole shots last moto. Let's take a look at Dickerson here. He's lined up next to the box. You can see, looks like Lang's maybe 2 inside of him there. Not sure where everybody else is, but MX2, race 2, time to get underway at Matterley Basins. We're off and running. Land rush down into turn 1. Dickerson did get another good start, but it's from the inside. A Yamaha almost got there, and Dickerson is down, as is Lang. A couple other riders have gone down. Kevin Gonzalez, whole shot. Second moto, a bad start the first time, and this time through, he is out front and leading. It's Gonzalez with the 54 of saves right behind him. Carter is a bad start, and Gonzalez crashes away the lead immediately. So saves goes to the front. I see Braden Carter up there. We also have Yannick Mueller. I think that's Bryce Whelan back there in 4th as well, as Benjamin saves on the Architect. Number 54 leads him around. Frantic action once again off the start. So close. When these guys are this close knit together, it's just absolute chaos. And this is one of the few racing series where you have so many international riders competing. And because of that, usually there's a little bit more lag involved. Not just because of the international riders, but because the, American riders also have lag to the international riders and vice versa. But sometimes it just causes chaos, and that was a big one going to the first corner. You can see how kind of spread out some of the field already is. So Save still leads. Carter just tucked the front wheel a little bit, trying to hold on to the 2 spot. So Whelan's right there. You can see Yannick Mueller. He's moved up into the 4 spot. Tomic with a good start around this time on the 311. Lewis Williams, another good start. And Lang actually looks like he was not down the first turn, but he's going to miss the double here at the top of the hill, lose a couple positions. 56 trying to come in around the outside. That's Zoa Cross. He's not going to get there. Quentin McDaniel trying to come in. Now he's tucking inside looking for a move. Meanwhile, Cross trying to deal with Tyler Lang. Cooper Hunt's just off the front of Lang here, and Payson Johnson, who did not have a good start the first time around, has got a great start this time. Let's see what he can do with that. He's up in 7th, trying to go in 6th on Lewis Williams around the outside. Ooh, he's going to lose a spot here. Maybe, maybe not. Cooper Hunt almost had the move on the inside, but then they all stacked up there. A lot of dualies over the finish line jump. Love everybody floating this tabletop here. Inside move, Lang trying to get down the inside of Hunt. Gonna get there, but actually gonna run into, that was, who went down there? That was Williams going down, so it puts Lang well down the order. Where is Dickerson as well? There's Dennis Fjellberg, his MV Films teammate there on the 55. He was one of the men down in that first turn. Eagland with another bad start. Mills is back here. Kerr, Gerst, Wilson, and then Isaiah Dickerson. So your Moto number 1 winner, he is absolutely buried down the order, but even more buried is the man who hole shot this race. Kevin Gonzalez in 33rd right now. Unbelievable turn of events there off the start. And Lang's gone down again, and he's down again, and I just saw Dickerson crash at the top of the hill. So 1 and 2 in the first moto, absolutely buried in the field right now. Let's see if we can find where 3rd in the first moto. There he is, Nathan Prynn. Let's see, he is in 19th right now, so just getting inside of the points-paying positions. He's trying to work around. That was Fjellberg that just went down. And then Prynn gets into the back of Whelan, I believe that was, and he goes down. So real tough luck for the top 3 in that first moto. And now Prynn is upside down. He has a double fall off. Just got a little overzealous and kind of gunned it there. So look at this. There goes, you can see Dickerson just went by. Kevin Gonzalez back there. Just up the rows here on the 3. Unbelievable turn of events here at the beginning of this moto. And up front, trying to avoid all the chaos, is still Benjamin Saves on the 54 Architect ride. Overall score is about to be all over the place. Logan Leitzel licking his chops probably right now after he finished up 4th in that first moto, seeing everybody that finished in front of him well down the order. But it is Save still leading this thing. It's actually opening up a small gap right now on Braden Carter. So Carter trying to settle in. It was not Whelan that Fjellberg hit. There's Whelan right there. There's Yannick Mueller, Tomic, and Payson Johnson. I'd have to imagine Johnson is the man we really need to watch here. 2:21.2. First timed by for Johnson. Tomic and Mueller both in the 23s. Bryce Whelan did a 2:22, as did Carter, a 2:21.9 for saves, so fresh air definitely helps. But Payson Johnson, he just moved up to 5th. He has fastest lap of the race right now. Peeking down the inside, this is when the track is at its freshest, so these guys can really start searching for lines early in this race because they're not too chopped out yet. Later in the race, when the lines start getting really big and choppy, you don't like entering a new line you haven't been accustomed to because it may be all roached out as well. Payson Johnson trying to make the move here down the inside of Yannick Mueller. Oh, he's trying to shut the door. He's going to get the pass done. Mueller has to back out of the challenge there. So Payson Johnson, he moves up to 4th now. Meanwhile, battle for the lead commencing. Benjamin Saves has Bryce Whelan. No, I'm sorry, that's Braden Carter behind him and saves over scrubs and goes down. That's going to allow Johnson back by into 2nd, I believe. So it's Carter, Johnson, Mueller, Tomic, and now Cross gets up ahead of Saves. So these guys all pretty close together, but Braden Carter assumes a nice, healthy lead at the front of the field 6 minutes in. Keep an eye on our leaderboard at the top, though. Trying to keep an eye on where Lang, Dickerson, and Nathan Prynn might get to in this moto. Those were our 1 through 3 finishers in the first race. Again, overall is about to be all upside down if we don't have some guys start putting on some heavy charges through the field. Lang, the first of the runners that we see there, he's in 20th right now as Carter cases the table out front. Dickerson, he has moved up to 24th. No sign of Nathan Prynn just yet, though. Well down the order for our fastest qualifier. Even behind Kevin Gonzalez now. He's in 31st, Nathan Prynn. So the MV Films teammates making the best of trying to charge through the field. Again, I just have to imagine, though, Payson Johnson is going to be the man to watch this moto. He finished 5th in the first moto. 5th in the first moto. And right now, running some blisteringly fast laps. 2nd fastest qualifier, so clearly has the speed to do some amazing things out front. And right now, he is going to be really happy to see the men that finished at the front in the last moto so far down the field, because it doesn't have him really dealing with much pressure. I know Braden Carter is no slouch out front, but Johnson probably thinks he can go get him, maybe win this moto, and perhaps pick up the overall victory here at the British Grand Prix. Just see some of the seconds being slashed away. It's at that 2-second mark right now. He's just trying to get it under there if he can. 1.9. See if he gets the quad cleanly. It looks like up front, Braden Carter got it clean. Johnson got it clean as well. Knocks it down to 1.8. 1.7. Attacking these corners. And looks like he got that corner just a little bit of a worse situation there than Carter. So hovering around that 2-second mark, Carter trying to hold the lead. Yannick Mueller, he's moved up to 3rd, and Tomic is in 4th, so those guys can be happy with those rides if they can stay there. Whelan's drifted back to 5th. So across, Jacob Hubbard, Cooper Hunt, Benjamin Saves, who was leading early on, he has now dropped down the field a little ways. He's in 9th. Noah Viney, Luke Sullivan. Didn't see much of Sullivan, but the 11 QM1 ride is in 11th, fittingly. Frank Jackson back here on the 280, Viracco. Then there is Leitzel, Eagland, Fjellberg, McDaniel, Adams, Kerr, and finally Tyler Lang. You can see right behind him is his teammate Dickerson. They are 19th and 20th, respectively. So they are together trying to march forward through the field and try to put on a ride. Not too dissimilar to what we saw to Kevin Gonzalez in the first moto. Maybe they'd like to go a little bit higher, though, than that 7th that Gonzalez ended up with. Dickerson trying to settle in behind Lang here. Up and over the finish line, jump they go. 10 minutes down, 20 minutes and 2 laps remain. Dickerson through the front door, he's down. Scrubbed a little too hard on the table. And a big one there for the 260. He's going to get going probably about 24th spot now, just ahead of Donovan. And here is Nathan Prynn, well down the order still. That's the one thing about outdoors, man. You have a good moto, you're feeling it, you're feeling strong going into the second moto. It takes like 2 crashes in the first lap of the second moto to just demoralize you. And hopefully that's not the case for Prynn here, who is fastest qualifier on the day coming in. 3rd in the first moto. Clearly looked like he was going to be a threat on some level in this championship. And right now, having to fight his way forward and continuing to make mistakes as he goes down again. So let's head back up to the front and kind of take a deep breath from everything. It is still Braden Carter from Payson Johnson. Let's take a look at split times here. 2.6 seconds gap. And Carter actually went faster last time by on a 2:21.8. So Johnson needs to find those couple tenths that he had on him. Did do that 2:20.6 as his fastest lap earlier on, but right now, bit of a struggle situation to regroup from that and catch up to that same pace that he was running. Up the uphill triple they go. Let's see what lap times are this time by. We'll look through the field for some more battling. Just curious if these guys are kind of matching each other's pace, or if it's a case that Carter's doing just better laps. 2:21.8 Johnson, 2:22.9 out of Carter. So indeed, Johnson did catch him a little bit that last lap. Not by a whole lot, but enough that it's noticeable, and keeping close tabs on him as they pull away from Tyron Tomic, who's moved up into the 3rd position ahead of Zoa Cross. Jacob Hubbard back here in 5th. Cooper Hunt. Got a close battle here with Yannick Mueller and Bryce Whelan going to battle. See if Whelan on the 313 can make something happen. Oh, Mueller goes down. Just tucked the front wheel, kind of carried maybe a too much speed into that outside right. He's going to lose several positions as Luke Sullivan, last man to go around him. Noah Viney also got by, as did Benjamin Saves. So Mueller regroups again. Dennis Fjellberg back here. This is where the action seems to be, though. Leitzel ahead of McDaniel, and that is Eagland mixed in with them. So McDaniel on the 181, Eagland on the 57, Kawasaki coming down the hill. Look at McDaniel trying to squeeze underneath Leitzel here. Not going to get it done, though. But now may try inside here. Oh, that was close. And they all got around Benjamin Saves, who was down again. You can see just behind them, Tyler Lang is coming into the mix here. Look at how close these guys all are. Oh, McDaniel, big swap. Lang going to get a twofer. Moves up into, I believe that's 13th now for Lang. Down the inside, though, was trying to go Eagland, and Benjamin Saves is still right there. All these guys still battling, just so close together as they hit the uphill quad. Benjamin Saves peeking down the inside of Eagland. Eagland, does he know he's there? He does. Has to back out of the challenge, and Saves gets it done. Meanwhile, Lang trying to get around that's Logan Leitzel there. Tends to back out of the challenge. And back by Saves goes Eagland, so back and forth we go. And Lang just made another mistake, so Eagland's trying to jump around the outside of him. Not going to be able to get the spot, though, as down the inside, Lang controls it all the way through, trying to close up back onto Logan Leitzel. Just ahead of them, Noah Viney. I think I just saw Yannick Mueller going out of view there. So these guys are creeping up on the top 10 very quickly, as it is Mueller who is in 10th, Viney is 11th, Leitzel 12th, and Lang is indeed in 13th. So Tyler Lang on the march forward has almost found his way into the top 10 at the halfway mark of this race, and has some heavy hitters right in front of him as Leitzel blows the inside rut, almost goes down. Going to lose several positions, and he is going to go down now. And Mueller was hung up on the jump there, so a couple positions gained. Not only did Dickerson here pick up some spots, but Tyler Lang crucially picked up some spots. He's trying to get around Noah Viney. That will be for 10th. And just up the road is his teammate Fjellberg in 9th right now. So all these guys were down in the first corner and have had to charge their way all the way back from terrible starts to get into these positions. As looks like Benjamin Saves had another big one at the bottom of the hill. So he's losing several more positions, and just as quickly as he was leading this race not too long ago, he's now falling further and further down the order and maybe outside of points before long, unless he can somehow regroup from his moments that he's been having. Tyler Lang picks up another spot on Noah Viney. That should be good for 10th. So Lang still marching forward. Viney 11th, Eaglin 12th, and 13th for Dickerson. So Dickerson coming right along with his teammate Lang here. Not trying to let him get too far away. Again, they were 1 and 2 in the first moto, but reversed order from where they are now. It was Dickerson picking up the victory from Lang. And Lang actually maybe getting passed back here. Noah Viney trying to give some pressure, and he will triple over him. And then triple and single to the inside to hold the position. So Tyler Lang having some troubles, slides out, gonna lose a couple more spots here. Oh, cuts over in front of his teammate there. Not sure if he knew that that was Dickerson coming up behind him, but definitely a sharp cut into the ruts there. Tyler Lang trying to sneak inside. Gets a big launch over the tabletop. And then swings through the rut there. Up to the top of the hill right behind this battle. Viney swings wide, gets passed by Lang. Eaglin's still in front of them. So as we continue to track their progress, there's still stuff going on at the front of the field. As Braden Carter continues to lead, Payson Johnson has lost touch with him, but Zoa Cross is having a much better second moto right now. The MXLocker.com number 56. Oh, just as I say that, ooh, nice save. He sits in third right now, though, and that is well better than he was in the first moto. He just could not seem to get the ball rolling, and he'll be much more satisfied with this result if he can bring it home in this position. Still about 12 minutes and a couple laps left remaining in this race, so he's got some time to try to just settle into a groove here. And for his sake, he's hoping he doesn't get caught by Tyron Tomic here. Lap time check. Tomic 2:27.3 to a 2:25.7, so Cross actually did pull away from him last lap by. But right now, it does seem like Tomic is reeling him in a little bit right now. Ooh, Tomic, a little mistake right there again. And that's going to cost him some time. So Cross now able to open up the gap a little bit there and be kind of by himself in the third. Here's Hubbard, 11th in the first moto. Up and down moto, we kind of detailed that in race number 1. Right now running 5th. Trying to make something happen with that one. Bryce Whelan back here in 6th. Cooper Hunt 7th. Sullivan 8th. Fjellberg 9th. And Lang behind his teammate in 10th. Dickerson is 11th. Eaglin, Mills, Mueller, Viney, Gonzalez, McDaniel, Jackson, Adams. And here is 3rd in the first moto, Nathan Prynn, again going off the racetrack. Just cannot seem to figure it out like he was in the first moto. Good start definitely seemed to help there. Just right now can't seem to get the ball rolling. Back in 26th. He is back here with Leitzel, to be fair. So Leitzel, who finished 4th in the first moto. So 4th and 3rd respectively in the first moto, now running looks like 25th and 26th on your screen. Just made a couple more passes though, and Prynn also got around Leitzel. So Alex Kerr in this group. Just a slur of guys back there that are going to be disappointed with this finish if they stay back there. Braden Carter and Payson Johnson out front, though, have definitely tightened up their battle. As Johnson seems like he's reeled him in, or either Carter may have had a mistake, but Johnson just had a big moment right there. Johnson tripling through this rhythm section. Braden Carter, only 1.1 second lead. This is getting nice and close at the front of the field. Past the 20-minute mark, so last 10 minutes of this race. Payson Johnson potentially knocking on the door for an overall win here, depending on where Lang can finish in this moto. But Johnson looking to go 5-1 and maybe wrap this overall win up. Carter would like to say something about that and try to win this second moto if he can. Again, scores just all over the place. Seven-tenths of a second in it. Different line for Johnson. He's trying something different, and it's going to cost him as he goes down. Just pushing the front wheel a little too hard on that middle rut. And you can see that the inside rut in that final corner was getting too deep, and he elected to go outside just a little bit, dive into that second rut, and it was not as deep as that inside rut, but he wasn't willing to lose time to Carter there, so he pushed the envelope, pushed the front wheel over the rut. Down he goes, and it's back to the drawing board to try to reel in the number 18 machine. Fortunately for his sake, he had enough of a gap there on Cross. So Zoe Cross checking in here in third. Tomic, Hubbard, Whelan. I mean, the top six has stayed the same for the last 10 minutes. Sullivan has moved up to 7th, so Luke Sullivan, QM1 number 11, he's just been crawling his way through the positions. He was 11th when we first saw him. He's now 7th. Cooper Hunt on the 304 of Last MX Ride, putting in a really solid moto in his own right. And then there's Tyler Lang, who, if he can make up enough positions in this moto, might be looking at an overall win. As there he goes around Sullivan. Sullivan was down, so he's up to 8th. Looks like his teammate Isaiah Dickerson has lost touch with him. Dickerson now falling even further back. Oh no, he's right behind him, I'm sorry. But he just went down as I say that, so he loses a couple more positions. So Dickerson and Lang trying to potentially decide the overall amongst themselves. Now looks like Lang's going to have the upper hand there. However, we do have to keep an eye on the scores because Payson Johnson might win this thing without winning the moto, depending on where Lang gets to. But Lang didn't win the first moto either, so whoever wins the overall today, they may not have won a single moto on the day. Cooper Hunt is trying to deal with the pressure, just made a small bobble. That might be the move that Lang needed, and he does get on by him. Misses the inside rut, but no harm, no foul. He's up to 7th and could potentially get 4th looking at the track map, but it also might be a tall order to get there. We'll have to see how it plays out. And remember, Lang, got to keep an eye. If he does get this overall win, it may not come without some controversy, as he rode backwards in the track at the end of the first moto and hit Jack Gatland, who was in 16th at the time. Gatland was down on the ground and ended up 21st, so he did not score any points. And as they run right now, Gatland is not going to score any points on the day. So Tyler Lang costing Jack Gatland 5 very valuable points by riding backwards on the track and taking him out after his race was over. Surely might get protested from that one. And there goes Bryce Whelan hitting the deck. So up to 6 now goes Tyler Lang as he continues moving forward. Has to go another 8 seconds to get to Tomic. And Hubbard's just a little bit further up the road in 4th. But it is still Braden Carter out front. Braden Carter, surely he knows what's going on behind him in terms of the overalls. He was not much of a factor in that first moto. He's just trying to pick up a win here. Salvage a good day at the very least. Payson Johnson sweating bullets right now, knowing where Lang's climbing up to. Could be on the verge of winning this first Grand Prix of the season if things were to stay. So across, a very solid third. Didn't talk about much about him in this race. Jacob Hubbard. As you see, Jack Gatlin is a lap down right there on the 9, and he just went down again. Tyron Tomic coming on through the S-curves before the waves. Goes around the outside, and here comes Lang. So Lang is closing up on Tomic. It's 4.6 seconds now, and that time is relatively quickly coming down with 4 minutes and a lap left. And if he can get to 4th, he solidifies that he has won the overall today. But he's got to get around somebody that's not his friend right now, and Jack Gatlin. Jack Gatlin a lap down. And Lang, the man that caused Gatlin the heartache earlier on today, but Gatlin going to go down. So over the race tech table they go, 4.4 seconds in it, and then he's got to go another 8.8 seconds to get up to Hubbard. Cross just put somebody a lap down. Tomic over the line 2:28.9, and Lang over the line a 2:24.5. So Lang clearly on the move right now. Cooper Hunt still back here in 7th. Just a quiet, solid ride for the 304 ride. And Colby Eaglin, he's slotted his way up into 8th. He's trying to hold off Luke Sullivan and Dennis Fjellberg, who just threw big over the finish line jump. Here's Dickerson under attack from Whelan. They're going to go nearly side by side into this corner before the start straight, and they're going to go around Luke Sullivan. Whelan gets a 2-for-1 in one corner there because Dickerson got hung up on Sullivan, so he goes around him. And Whelan slides his way in. Dickerson clearly frustrated though after winning that first moto. A terrible start, having to charge forward and getting a little bit hung up there with Luke Sullivan, so he's not going to be happy about that. As Tyler Lang has moved around Tomic, he's up to 5th. So we'll go back up there and take a look at what's going on there in just a minute. As we watch this battle, Sullivan might jump back over Dickerson. Oh, he lands on him, and Sullivan goes down. Dickerson stays up, but Daniel Mills picks up a position in the process. Dickerson now has to try to claw his way back around Daniel Mills. So they go up and over the tabletop before dropping down to do the big uphill quad. Let's see if they both get it. Mills looks like he's got it. Dickerson also got it, even stayed a little bit lower, so he's trying to get better drive through this corner, but Mills holds the advantage with the inside line. And again, going inside in the next corner, but then he goes down, so Dickerson picks up that position. Let's head back up ahead and see. Lang is now in 5th. Hubbard probably too far up the road. Braden Carter probably has this thing nearly won at this point. Payson Johnson needs something kind of big to happen. It's an 8-second lead. Oh, Cross just went down. Here comes Hubbard. Hubbard moves up into 3rd. Cross back to 4th, and this is going to be the moment Lang is hoping for, where these guys maybe start messing with each other for this 3rd position, and he can get up there. If he gets 4th, he's your overall winner with a 2-4. Right now, we believe it is still Payson Johnson with a 5-2 overall winner. It really kind of depends at the moment where Dickerson gets to. If Dickerson gets to 6th, he's the overall winner. So dropping down the table, Lang knows that there is positions to be made just up the road. Zoe-Cross would love to go back and finish on the podium if he can. He is probably not thinking even the slightest about Lang coming behind him. He just wants to go back after Hubbard at all costs because he was in that podium position for so much of this race, and just a little bit of a late race mishap there has caused him to lose a position, and again a slide out. And you can see Lang creeping up now. 30 minutes on the clock is over, so 2-lap board coming out next time by. Oh, Lang going for the big send on the quad, almost landed off the side of the track, but he can definitely see Zoe-Cross is just up the road of him, and that is the overall victory if he can get there. Oh, Cross goes down! Cross goes down in the waves, and this is going to be it for Lang. As he jumps by him, that's going to be it. 2-4 overall victory for Lang if he holds it. Doesn't need to go get Hubbard. Unless Johnson can get Carter for the win, that's going to solidify it. And Lang has crawled his way back from so far down in the field to get to this position. Tyron Tomic now smells blood in the water as he sees Cross up the road having all sorts of issues, and he wants to go after him. 2-lap board is currently out, so everybody coming across this time by will get the 2-lap board. Cooper Hunt, Isaiah Dickerson, Dennis Fjellberg, Daniel Mills, Kevin Gonzalez in the mix here, Bryce Whelan. Kevin Gonzalez has, without question, passed the most guys today because he not only had to pass probably like 25 guys in the first moto to get 7th, but he hole shot the second moto and crashed his way all the way back to about 35th. Now he finds himself up here. He's in about 14th, I think. No, he's in 10th, actually. So scratch that. He's in 10th. He's clawed his way another 25 spots in this moto. Talk about hard charger award. He's not going to get it because he hole shot that first moto. Well, I guess he didn't cross the finish line at the end of the first lap in first because he crashed 2 corners in. But still, Kevin Gonzalez probably kicking himself for crashing 2 corners in after that hole shot because he's going to finish top 10 in both motos. And it's going to look like he had to ride his balls off both motos to get there, which he did, but he kind of shot himself in the foot with a bad start as he makes the pass on Fjellberg to go into 9th. Got to keep an eye on there for Whelan trying to come into the play. Colby Eaglin's back here, Daniel Mills, Luke Sullivan, Noah Viney, Yannick Mueller, Quentin McDaniel, Tim Friedrichs, Logan Leitzel, Frank Jackson, Chase Donovan, Trent Adams, Alexander Gerst, and here is Nathan Prynn, fastest qualifier. He's going to go 3 and no points. So that third in that first moto, not able to follow it up with a good ride in this second moto. A lot of crashing out of Prynn here. He'll be disappointed with that, no doubt. Gonzalez dropping down the hill up here. Dickerson trying to go after Cooper Hunt with white flag coming out this time by. By the way, Tyler Lang, oh, he had caught up to the back of Hubbard and then just went down in the waves, so Cross is back there again as white flag is coming out. So Lang trying to really put the nail in this coffin with a third, was going after Hubbard there, then went down, and he may shoot himself in the foot here as Cross is trying to come up and make things interesting with just a few turns left to go. I mean, at this point, white flag coming out for these guys, so only 1 lap left in the race. Can Lang get Hubbard, or will Cross get Lang to shake things up here? Payson Johnson looks like he's definitely settling for second as Braden Carter out front. Smooth sailing for the 18. Good turnaround ride in the second moto. Up and down, kind of a frustrating first moto for the Panini Motorsports rider. But for his sake, he'll be very, very happy to turn it around and get a win in this moto. Always feels a little bit better to win the second moto. Even if you DNF the first one, you kind of end on a high. You don't feel as bad as you did after the first moto. So I'd have to imagine Carter's going to be at least relatively satisfied with this result because it's always nice to win that second moto. But he'll be disappointed it didn't work out a little bit better earlier on as Lang has now moved up into third, and barring some dramatic last couple lap passes here by his teammate Dickerson, which looks completely out of the question, Lang has got this thing pretty sewed up for the overall with 2-3 scores on the day. He will be the winner of the British Grand Prix. But the man of the moto is the 18, Braden Carter. Curious to see how he carries this momentum with him into the next round next week, which I believe is Valkenswaard in the Netherlands, the sand track. Does he come out swinging just like he did in this moto? Can he put a fight up against Lang and Dickerson, who are going to ultimately score more points than him on the day? So championship-wise, looking a little bit down in the count for Carter in the early runnings, but at least he has a positive note to end on the day as he comes through the final corner one more time, and race 2 in the MX2 class belongs to Braden Carter on the Panini Motorsports number 18. A great victory for him. Pace and Johnson just could not put the charge together that he wanted to come through and win this moto, which may have won him the overall, but in the end he'll pick up a second. Should end up on the podium overall, so that'll be a good start to his season. And this is the man that's going to come across and take the overall win on the day and take the red plates with him into Valkenswaard next week. But again, I have to bring it up. I don't think he's getting out of here without at least some sort of penalty or at least a protest brought against him for that illegal riding on the track in the wrong direction after the first moto. But at least for now, Tyler Lang wins the British Grand Prix, 2-3 scores on the 49. Red plates aboard the MV Films machine next week. And Hubbard crosses the line 4th. Zoa Cross will end up 5th. He'll be disappointed, I think, because he had 3rd pretty well sewn up, and then a few crashes late there really cost him. Tyron Tomic, a couple good finishes on the day. He ends up 6th. Cooper Hunt looks like he's going to finish 7th. Yep, Dennis Fjellberg 8th. Kevin Gonzalez 7-9. I mean, literally the hardest 7-9 I've ever seen, because that is 2 motos that he had to work for it for sure. He's just trying to hold off in those last corner, though, as Whelan's closing up. Whelan will end up 10th. 11th for Eaglin as he wheelies over the line. Luke Sullivan on the number 11. Good turnaround moto for him. He should end up in 12th here, as again, he comes over the line. Daniel Mills coming through in 13th for the JDR team. And Dickerson, winner, moto number 1, 14th moto number 2. Goodness gracious, these overalls are all over the place. Yannick Mueller ends up 15th in this one. Tim Friedrichs will end up 16th. 17th here for Noah Viney. 18th will be Quinton McDaniel. 19th will be Chase Dunavant as he comes through with just a couple turns to go. And Frank Jackson's going to try to follow him home here in 20th, the final points paying position for the number 280. Varacco Machine, oh, he stalls it in the last corner though a little bit. Gets going and will come across there in 20th. Jonathan Alexander just missing out. Logan Leitzel, he was 4th in the first moto, no points in the second moto. Nathan Prim finishes a lap down after finishing 3rd in the first moto. We also had Ethan Gerst, Trent Adams, Magnetti, Williams, Wilson, Shepard, Gatlin, Anderson, Saves, Kerr, Plessinger, Irvine, Braden, Rogers, Ness, Rose, Cavacuti, and everybody else behind them. Wait for cuts to come in just to solidify those overalls. Lang, unofficially the winner. Carter wins the moto. And not sure who exactly we're waiting on, but cut should come in just a second. I don't even see anybody riding on the track, so must be waiting for somebody who's sitting somewhere for these cuts to come in. And the 250, or the MX2 class, MX2 British Grand Prix will be done. Oh, someone is still riding. Okay, I see them out there, but maybe that person's already finished, not sure. Either way, as soon as this person comes across the line, we'll get cuts in, and then we will throw it to a quick intermission. Actually, we will not be going off the air, so don't go anywhere, because the MXGP class, the 450 riders, coming up next. and you won't want to miss that. Some serious heavy hitters in that division that you'll want to see, as there is cuts, and it is confirmed Tyler Lang has won the British Grand Prix. So MX2 class done. MXGP class coming up next. We're going to head to a quick intermission. We'll be right back on the other side of this quick break for the 450 division.
We are the people of the clouds, a title we have been endowed. So join us, we all stand and shout. An ancient race, we are and proud. So fill the glasses to the brink. A heavy hand, so you must think. But I have found the missing link. Our fate is written in ink. Raise a storm and go where we have never gone before. We have sworn to mend the bond that we have torn. Raise a storm and go where we have never been before. We have sworn to mend the bond that we have torn.
Burning down the walls, we let the monsters in. And now we're running down the halls, no we can't let them win. There's an evil inside that is lurking way down below. And if I can't hold to my breath, then I'm bound to become hollow. Can you say that I disappeared? Can you say that I wasn't there for you when you went into hiding on the front steps of your porch? And I reflected on the memories, but I put out that torch. Hey! But I put out that torch. But I put out that torch. So now can you tell me where you want to be in time? There's a million different places and a million different heights. I'll climb the tallest of the mountains, the highest place I find, so that I can look over and before me what is mine. Can you say that I disappeared? Can you say that I wasn't there for you when you went into hiding on the front steps of your porch? And I reflected on the memories, but I put out that torch. Hey! But I put out that torch. But I put out that torch. Can you say that You went into hiding on the front steps of your porch, and I reflected on the memories, but I put out that torch. Can you say that I disappeared? Can you say that I wasn't there for you?
Everybody to the 2020 Race Factory Gaming Grand Prix Championship in MX Simulator. My name, of course, is Kellen Brauer. We're back on the other side of this intermission, and we are set to bring you guys the action from the MXGP class, the 450 division of riders, coming up here in just a quick moment. So we'll be bringing you guys both motos and the Consolation Race, which is about to get started right behind my screen right now, actually. But we're going to take a look at qualifying times before we do that, just so that we can kind of take a look at where everything is at the moment. Of course, Alexis Leclerc was your fastest qualifier. Let's actually go ahead and pull this up on the screen here. Alexis Leclerc was your fastest qualifier on a 2:15.7, 2:16.5 for Jack Haley, Adam Holm on a 2:16.6. Walter Gebhardt also in the mix, Zach Prokop, Chase Blakely, but this is the cutoff lines that we wanted to look at down here. Aaron Rockefeller looks like he got in. Ethan Parks out, so he'll be in the Consolation Race, as will everybody else behind him. And all these guys are going to be heading to that Consolation Race to basically try to make it into the last 4 spots of the motos. So we're going to go ahead, jump back into the server, and take a look at what is happening at Manly Basin. Meanwhile, lovely times. How's everybody doing tonight? Great to see everybody. If you're just joining us, happy Monday. Forget what day of the week it is, but it's Monday. It's so weird with Supercross being on a Sunday. But we're getting ready to go racing again. MX2 races just completed. So if you missed that, you missed some good racing, really close action, and a overall decided that was brought down the last couple laps of the motos. So good racing there, and hopefully we're going to get a lot of the same, over there in the MXGP division. But we're about to find out whether or not we will get the same in the MXGP division. Trying to get loaded back into the server. There we go, loading bikes. All right. Good to see everybody still kind of hanging out. 137 live viewers for the first round of the Grand Prix Championship. Remember, this archive will be immediately available on YouTube, and for the rest of the season, you guys will be able to watch it live here on Start Your Systems. Bringing you guys live action of the Grand Prix Championship. And this Consolation Race looks like... Nope, there we go. About to get started. Steve Harris, Tommy Dallaire, Adam Robson, Braden L, Noah Napoli, James Cohen, Brandon Castellaneta. Haven't seen that name around, so cool to see a fresh face. Ricky Williams, Austin LeBeau, Fred Heather, Nick Tomasunis, Frank Raffiani, Ethan Parks. I had his pack downloaded, and I guess I didn't put it in into the folder. God, I'm an idiot. He's on my team. I don't even have his skins. Yeah, Callum Fisher in chat. He's excited. He says, let's go racing. Yeet. Indeed, we're about to go racing 450 action. Manly Basin. The 2020 Race Factory Gaming Grand Prix Championship. But the Consolation Race will be ran first. So 4 of these men trying to join the other 36 men who have already qualified into the motos. And who is it going to be? We're going to find out right now. Between about 22 guys, I think, in this Consolation Race, only 4 go through, which means somebody is about to be very unhappy in just a minute. So it's time to go racing here. British Grand Prix Consolation Race in the MXGP division. Let's drop that gate. Ooh, Dallaire with a loop out. And instead, it is a close fight into the first corner. Lots of contact, and you would be remiss if you didn't realize this is a consolation race and how many people just went down to the first corner. But it's Adam Robson with the whole shot. Casey Ohlert, Noah Napoli, and Zach Fisher up front. But this 3 through 8 train is very close together. Everybody's really pretty close together because it's the start of the race. Dropping down off the table. Ohlert trying to settle into a pace while Adam Robson sneaks away at the front. Integrity Farms number 77. Integrity team definitely didn't get the memo that I deleted all the Supercross skins, so hopefully they get that righted by next week. But Noah Napoli back here with James Cohen. Look at how many people are lodged in together here. Napoli getting a little bit of a tap there from, that's Ricky Williams. And down goes Napoli as Heather goes by. And Napoli flips off the side of the racetrack. Everybody goes on through. There's Ethan Parks, Matt Model, Brady White, James Webb, Austin LeBeau. Austin LeBeau has to take evasive actions. Fred Heather just literally doing pirouettes on the racetrack as Braden L also hit the deck with him. You got Thomas Sunis getting froggy and sideways in mid-pack here as he jumps across Tommy Dallaire. And he's trying to get around the outside of Steve Harris, but they're trying to go back up the inside of him. So they're taking no prisoners there in that mid-group battle. Ethan Parks trying to jump through the rhythm lane. Matt Model is down. Goes, that was not Steve Harris. That was Austin LeBeau. So already massive amounts of position changing. Nobody can quite decide who wants to be in these transfer spots as Thomas Sunis goes through the hay bales there. Dropping down the tables in the back. Casey Ohlert, James Webb. All right, so it's Robson, Fisher, Cohen, and Ricky Williams in transfer spot right now. So Ricky Williams on the 215 blastmx.com ride is in transfer spot. Jake Webb, Nick Tomasunis, Steve Harris. All these guys would love to go into the main motos. Tommy Dallaire, Fred Heather, Brady White, all these guys mixed in. Look at this freight train coming onto the start straight. Any one of these guys still has a shot at making it. Just got to try to stay on two wheels and avoid the chaos as Brady White is in the mix here. By the way, Brady White, part of this real cool collaboration he's doing where there's actually real payouts this year for the GP season. He'll be paying $50 to the winner of both classes, $25 for second, and then I believe it's 2,300 knobbies for third overall in the series. So real cash prizes being awarded here, Race Factor Gaming competition. So cool to see Brady White doing a great job there for MXS Magazine. Him and my teammate Jack Gatlin have actually put that MXS Magazine together and done a really great job with that. I think they're 3 issues in. Should definitely check it out. Head to forum.mxsimulator.com. Go to the media room and check out the latest editions of the MXS Magazine. They have it there. And White's trying to make the move actually on Dallaire. Looks like he might get it done. Steve Harris and Thomas Sunis. Still trying to catch Ricky Williams though. Jake Webb actually looks like he just got around Ricky Williams, the 259 DeBaum Designs rider of Jake Webb. Man, somebody is just loving Jake Webb right there. They are all about it with the air horn. Got the cowbell going and everything. James Cohen and Zach Fisher just up the road. Adam Robson. Adam Robson quietly just sneaking away from everybody out front here. Just not having a worry in the world as he's got a 10-second lead in this consolation race. It's really not true at all. He's probably freaking out because he would love to go into these main motos. But at least right now he's making it look super easy. Got a 10-second lead. He's got 2 laps left to go. Zach Fisher is still in second behind him. And Fisher on the 317 trying to hold off James Cohen. James Cohen, not many people know this, I don't think, but is also a real-life pro motocross rider. Well, was. I don't know if he still possesses his pro card, but he did actually, I think he either qualified or very closely qualified to a couple nationals back in like 2013, 2014 area. Not sure if he still is actively pursuing his motocross career, but he definitely was a very, very fast rider out of that New York, New Jersey area, I believe. And good to see that he's still out here putting the work in sim from time to time, trying to find his way into this Grand Prix race tonight. Shout out my teammate Jack Gadlin dropping €2 in chat, but he says, I suck. No, I think unfortunately you easily got 16th in the first moto, but there was a wild Tyler Lang flipping across the racetrack, and unfortunately no points, but that's okay, Jack. We believe in you. So James Cohen has Jake Webb peeking up the inside of him here for third. Doesn't need that position, but going to take it anyway. Moves Cohen back to fourth and got a nice lead right now on Brady White. So White's trying to close this gap down. He's bringing Tommy Dallaire with him. Ricky Williams, Steve Harris, Austin LeBeau, Casey Ohlert. Some big names, including the 2011 Race Factory Gaming Pro Motocross champion Austin Jones, who I think just snuck into this race. I don't think he actually set a qualifying time, but he said, "Can I race, please?" And they let him in. Right now, he is hitting the deck and probably not going to make it into the main motos. So this kind of group up here is really kind of spread apart. Robson still has that big lead going, but Fisher might be under attack here very soon from Jake Webb as the white flag is coming out. Remember, Consolation Race. Whoa, Webb kind of blew the corner at the top of the hill there. Settle down. Just got to make it through. No harm, no foul. Oh, Cohen's been passed. Brady White has gone into the final transfer spot. We may have a race on hands, folks. See if James Cohen sends it. Or does Brady White hold him off here? Boy, oh boy, this could get good. Especially with Jake Webb having a couple issues up the road there. He's probably sweating bullets knowing there's a couple guys that could put him out of transfer spot right on his heels right now. I'll tell you what, Brady White is not laying up. He is trying to get away right now from James Cohen and instead going after Jake Webb just up the road of him. And they're still not too far behind Zach Fisher on the 317. So Brady White throwing caution to the wind. Instead, it looks like Jake Webb actually may have found his groove a little bit again. He's pulled away from White and caught up to Fisher in the process. Still lurking back there is Cohen. So if these guys get together, oh, contact, and they both go down. Of course, just what they didn't want to have happen, and they're both going to lose transfer spot because of it. Dallaire goes through into the final transfer spot. Jake Webb gets up in fifth, and he's got to catch Dallaire now to get there. James Cohen says, "Thank you very much. I will take that." He moves back into third. And Dallaire gets the gift of a lifetime as he's now in the final transfer spot. Jake Webb has got to regroup and go after him. Brady White just disconnected right away. So clearly some frustrations there. Looks like it's down to Jake Webb and Tommy Dallaire for the final transfer spot. Cohen, like I said, just going to be happy with that. Adam Robson through the final corner and quietly puts his Husqvarna into the motos tonight with a win in the consolation race. Zach Fisher comes through the final corner. He is going through out of the consi as well, 16 seconds back. James Cohen also going through, and Dallaire will indeed make it ahead of Jake Webb. Webb misses out by 2 seconds there in the end. Steve Harris comes across in 6th. Casey Ohlert down with a couple corners to go, but doesn't matter. Austin LeBeau, Ethan Parks not going through. Ricky Williams. Braden Castellaneta. I think I got that right. Caleb Hall. Frank Raffiani. Noah Napoli. Austin Jones. Leon Ty back here. My dude on the 131. Might Hiko FLD, I believe. Not sure if that's Mitko Feld or Mitko Fled, something. Brady White out of this moto. Nick Thomasounis also out of this moto. Braden L. Fred Heather. Eduardo Simos, Matt Model. And myself in warm-up. So we are waiting for official results to come in as everybody else comes across the finish line jump here. And we are just about ready to get going for moto action in the MXGP, the MXSGP of Great Britain in the MXGP class, the MX1 division, as I like calling it. We're going to see some of the stars of the game competing against one another. Alexis Leclerc, Jack Haley, just to name a few. But we shall await cuts. At least right now it is Robson, Fisher, Cohen, and Dallaire through. It'll stay that way as no changes were made. In fact, nobody swapped positions at all thanks to cuts. Most cuts were 2.67 seconds out of 164. That's Steve Harris with the most cuts. But we are ready to go racing here, folks. Hopefully you guys are excited. I'm excited for this one. Again, welcome back into the booth. Kellen Brauer here, bringing you guys the action for round number 1 of the 2020 Race Factory Gaming Grand Prix Championship live here on Start Your Systems. We already had the MX2 division earlier on, but now we have the 450 class, the MX1 class, set and ready to go. Some of the big hitters on hand, like I said, Alexis Leclerc, Jack Haley, Adam Holmes seems to have found his groove again. Going to be a lot of guys that we're going to focus in on. But the Consolation Race now just finished. We had 4 guys go through to make up our 40-man field. They're going to go 2 motos, 30 minutes plus 2 laps each. Little 5-minute break in between. Again, we just came off of intermission, so if you guys are still coming back, good to see you guys. Again, a great audience that we've had here tonight. A lot of lively discussions in the chat, and always appreciate you guys stopping by watching these broadcasts. So we're going to bring you guys action here. 2 more motos on the night. Hopefully you guys will sit back and enjoy it. And yeah, thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Let's jump back into the server and watch some 450 racing. Alrighty then. Madley Bazin, I'm going to take a spin around the track here while we wait for these motos to load. It's probably going to be just in time for me to not be able to do much, but might as well try. You guys can kind of see from third-person perspective, which is what I play in, what the track looks like right now. Of course, it's still pretty fresh because they've only done 4 laps of the Consi. So it gets a lot more chewed up when the actual motos are going on, but you're going to see a lot of different line choices, guys going inside, outside, all over the place, coming down these hills. Look, there's our camera well sitting right there. Head over to startyoursystems.com today. Check out all the cool stuff we got going over there. Got the live page up so you can watch there. But you can also join the forum. We have a forum over there, and soon we're going to have a shop. So you guys can purchase some apparel, some accessories, some other things. Shop's going to be up on startyoursystems.com very soon, as well as on our YouTube page, so you guys definitely want to check that one out. All right. I'm excited. Are you guys excited? I love the GPs. Big GP fan in real life, but also in sim. These tracks just seem like they're just such good tracks. Some tracks kind of suck. They're flat, jumpy. whatever. Those GP tracks are lame. I don't really like when they go to Indonesia and build a track in a parking lot, but I get why they do it. But, you know, you got the legendary tracks. We're going to Valkenswaard next week. We're at Matterley Basin right now. St. Jean d'Angely, another good track that we're going to be going to a little bit later in the season. I think we're doing Maggiora as well on the schedule, at least one of the Italian rounds. Maybe Arco di Trento, actually, now that I think about it. So we're going to be kind of all over the place for this 10-round GP series. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to try to bring you guys as much of this action live as possible. Again, I will reiterate for those of you that are maybe just joining us, weren't watching the 250 race. My wife and I are expecting our first child here at the end of the month. So I've already discussed this with RaceFactorGaming.com, but some of the races at the end of the month and into July may not be live because I may be a little bit preoccupied. But at the very least, at some point, I will sit down and grab demos and re-record the races as if I was broadcasting them if they were not live. Or I may just hire somebody in my place to cover the broadcast. So just want to give you guys a heads up that not all of these will be live, at least for the next couple of weeks they will be. But we'll try to get as much content out as to you guys as possible. And hopefully you guys enjoy watching the GP season. All right, chat. Who do we got? Who do we got for this first moto right now? Anybody? Anybody got a pick? We got Leclerc, we got Holm, we got Haley, we got a whole gamut of people. We got Anthony Twiddle, we got Will Whiteley, Walter Gebhardt, Sean Smith, Dylan Long, Colton Mitchell, Jeremy Siebold, Jack Haley, Devin Davis, Adam Robson, Tommy Dallaire, Dylan Copeland, Connor Holiak, Aaron Rockefeller, Kyle Carpenter, Blake O'Brien, Reed Young, Kyler Hockey, Fernando Andrade, William St. Laurent, Seth Garrett, Caden Speck, James Cohen, Robert Wilson, Adam Holm, reigning GP champion right there on the number 1, Jeremy Cohenauer, Zach Fisher, Alexis Leclerc, Jeremy Cohenauer. We got Chase Blakely, Ash Deering, Chris Channing, Anthony Pichon, Joseph Pilsner, Brandon Holmes, and Zach Prokop. We got a whole gamut of people. We got people saying Haley all the way, Holm. We got Leclerc, we got Cohenauer. We got another vote for Adam. Oh man, this is going to be so good. Racing so intense. First round of the GP Championship. MX1 class about to get underway. The championship, all these guys have been itching to win. I think Leclerc's looking for some redemption. He wants to dethrone Adam Holm. Look at that. We even got a Prokop for the dub from Brinker556. I like it. Thinking off the wall. All right. Time to go racing, folks. First GP of the season. Live here on Star Your Systems TV. It's the British Grand Prix at Matterley Basin. Let's figure out who we're going to watch on the gate here. Let's take a look at Sean Smith in the mid-gate. It is time to go racing. Land Rush. 79, good jump. 7, Leclerc gets to the corner first. Somebody swinging way outside, and Leclerc goes down. Couple other going down. It's frantic action, and the whole shot, if I can get to him, is Jack Haley on the number 6. So Haley, coming off of not being able to defend his Supercross championship, ends up with the whole shot in this one. Prokop right behind him. We got Brandon Holmes with a good start on the 48. Colton Mitchell's up here as well. Devin Davis, a lot of guys at the front of the field early on that we know and are familiar with, but Haley leads as Prokop trying to give a challenge early on. Haley swings wide down the inside. I think, well, Prokop tried, but just wasn't able to get there. And meanwhile, Devin Davis on the 33, he's come here to play. Brandon Holmes trying to get back down the inside of him, but Davis swinging around the outside. Oh man, almost contact there with Reed Young on the 50. Sending the tabletop up to the top of the hill, and then they drop back down to the valley. These 450s should have no trouble at all getting over this quad. In fact, many of them electing to scrub or whip it, as Young's still peeking down the inside of Devin Davis. Davis shuts the door. We got Colton Mitchell with Adam Holm right behind him. Again, I'll reiterate, anybody watching this broadcast, I deleted every single skin from Supercross. So, as I mentioned in the Race Factory Discord a week ago, you need to resubmit your skins. I'm not going to sit there and have a bunch of old skins in my Supercross thread when basically half the field decides they're going to jump teams and start a new team in the first place. So, sorry to the teams that have the long tenure, but I'm not going to have a pack full of it. Just a PSA there, anybody watching that may be wanting their skins on the stream. Jack Haley out front though. Prokop right behind him. And Brandon Holmes, Devin Davis, Colton Mitchell, Reed Young, Adam Holm. Tight-knit group at the front of the field here. Let's go on board with Holm and you can kind of just take a look at how close everybody still is. Speaking of close, look at how close it is back down the field a little bit. Man, it is just an absolute freight train. Let's go back there a little bit. Cohenauer, Deering, Rockefeller, Blakely, Channing, and then look at this. Dallaire with Pilsner, Siebold, and Gebhardt all closely tied together. Siebold just off his Supercross championship out here. Will Whiteley, Robert Wilson, Dylan Copeland, St. Laurent, Carpenter, Long, Andrade, Leclerc way back here. Look at how close all these guys are. Fisher, Twiddle, Smith, Kyler Hockey's in the mix. Jeff Cooper. Leclerc trying to peek down the inside. As around the outside goes Connor Holiak. James Cohen is in here. Jet Wisdom, Seth Garrett, and Adam Robson fresh off his Consolation Race win. Oh, and Leclerc is down at the top of the hill. Lots of guys getting in there. 79, I think, is Hockey maybe. So clearly still a lot of stuff going on back there, but don't want to miss anything going on at the front as Haley's still trying to deal with some pressure. Zach Prokop applying some serious pressure on the number 6. It's the 6 and the 16 out front. They look like teammates because of the skins I have for them, but clearly not teammates. Jack Daniels Racing for Jack Haley, and Integrity for Prokop. Brandon Holmes still holding on ahead of Devin Davis. And Prokop just made a small mistake, so it cost him some time. Still in second, but not right on Haley like he was. So let's see if he's able to regroup and perhaps start putting the pressure on him. Holmes, Davis, and Mitchell still right there. Holmes just made a move on Reed Young. So the defending champion moves up into 6th now, I believe. Up to the top of the hill. Lays it over and tries to latch onto the back of Colton Mitchell. They head to the finish line jump once more. On to lap number 3, lap time check. Haley out front runs a 220.5 first time by, 221.5 for Prokop, 221.8 for Holmes, a 221.9 for Davis, and a 222.6 for Mitchell. Holm, the only one in this front group that was going faster than the people in front of him. He did a 222.6, which is faster than everybody up to Prokop. So Holm clearly man on the move in this front group, trying to make up time as fast as possible and not lose touch with Jack Haley out front. Mitchell just made a mistake at the top of the hill, but so did Holm behind him. And Devin Davis here just trying to size up an opportunity on Brandon Holmes if he can get one. All the while, Holmes still has Prokop in his crosshairs. Well, who's going to bite first? This front group kind of running nose to tail. Not a lot of disparaging going on right now. They're all just settling into a pace as it looks like Haley may have just made a small mistake. He somehow saved it, but he was landing sideways when we just panned to him up the road just a little bit. It may have cost him some time because Prokop seems like he's definitely closed it back in just a little bit more. Can't count out Holmes, though. He's still right behind him. Davis still in this freight train. Just a tight group off the front. Definitely not exactly what Leclerc was hoping to see as he got an awful start here. So Holmes still eyeing up Prokop. Davis now coming under attack a little bit from Mitchell. Track hasn't really worn in yet. Still just really similar lines. In fact, it's probably the most similar to what they experienced in qualifying. Usually qualifying lasts anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes per race that these guys do for qualifying. So they are probably the most accustomed to the track in its current state, as Adam Holm just went down in the background. The defending champion cartwheels after the race tech table and loses a position there to Reed Young. He's going to get back up still in 7th, but Devin Davis just got passed by Colton Mitchell when we were taking a look at Holm picking himself back up. So Mitchell trying to march forward. He now is going to set his sights on Brandon Holmes ahead of him, and Davis going to try to latch onto the back of Mitchell and go with him as they run down Brandon Holmes. Leclerc update, he is in 26th. Right now, at least, Jack Haley looks like he's out for redemption. Could not find the winner's circle in Supercross, defending his title from the prior season. Ended up 3rd in the championship, but again, 17 rounds of Supercross as the defending champion, 0 wins to his tally has got to be frustrating, and may have well kind of refired a little bit of a flame underneath of him. And right now he is riding really strong in the early runnings of this. Only 8 minutes in, still has Prokop hot on his heels, but at least so far this looks like the Haley we were seeing last year. Prokop still just keeping the pressure so close. In fact, has really opened up the gap now behind him. Brandon Holmes doesn't look like he's in that position anymore. On board with Prokop. Kind of that inside rut, then swings to the 3rd rut, just like Haley up the road of him was doing. And the uphill triple here, did a 220 flat last time by. Let's see if any of these guys can dip down into those 219 ranges like they were running in qualifying. 215 for Leclerc. 218.7 out of Prokop, just as Haley had reset fast lap at a 219.2. Prokop checks in at a 218.7. So clearly track probably at its most prime right now. These guys really pushing the envelope, trying to get away at the front. Still fairly close behind them. Colton Mitchell's moved up to 3rd. Devin Davis is now 4th. Reed Young 5th, Brandon Holmes 6th, and Holm is all the way back in 7th now. But want to keep an eye on this battle out front because clearly Prokop wants a piece of Jack Haley for the race lead right about now. Does not want to wait any longer. It's amazing the pace that these guys can run. I mean, we saw in the 250 division, the MX2 class earlier tonight, you know, the lap times were really, really strong, but the consistency just kind of wasn't there. They were kind of able to get those 221s, 222s, but then very quickly dropped off in the 224s, 225s, and a lot of crashing. But so far in this 450 class, at least through 10 minutes of the moto, just really solid, consistent lap times and just really fluid, smooth riding out of everybody. That's kind of the draw to the 450 class for a lot of people. 250 class, a lot of people feel they may be better on a 250, but there's more chaos in the 250 class. There's more drama, more people kind of throwing caution to the wind. So if you move up to this 450 class, yeah, it's probably tougher to win a moto. It's probably tougher to run top 10. However, the racing is a little bit cleaner, a little bit more consistent. So if you find that you are a consistent rider, 450 class may be a good spot for you because the 250 class is absolute chaos. As Prokop went down, coughed up 2nd to Mitchell. So Colt Mitchell has moved into the 2 ride. Prokop drops back to 3rd, and he's going to try to regroup. Devin Davis, really solid effort here for the Takatoji ride. First time in, I feel like, a long time. Well, Devin Davis, I think, was on Mad Cape and Supercross, but so weird seeing Devin Davis and not seeing DX3 next to his name. He was created that team and was on that team for a long time, but now he's on the Takatoji. Takatoji? I don't know. I really don't know how to say that team. I'm going to have to ask somebody there how they pronounce it, but Davis, good ride right now in 4th. Reed Young on the Tegrity ride with his teammate Prokop right now, making it a Tegrity 2-5, or 3-5 I should say, because Prokop just lost 2nd, but really good effort out of Reed Young as well. Brandon Holmes back here, Jeremy Cohenauer on the number 15. So we see how different the numbers are in the GP series compared to the North America Supercross and Motocross series, because they are two different, not really two different entities or run by the same organization or whatever, but they score points and all that stuff differently. So you race GPs, you get a different number than you do racing Supercross and Motocross, and Cohenauer seems to be one of the guys with the closest resembling numbers. He's number 13 in Supercross, but number 15 in GPs, so just good enough to finish inside of the top 15 in points, but not enough, I think, to get a national number. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he did get a career number out of that, but just kind of interesting to see the dynamic. You kind of get a real good indication of how many people play this game kind of just consistently, because someone like Cohenauer, I know he puts a lot of time into running the RaceFactoryGaming.com website, but he also races these races every round, so he is pretty good at the game, pretty good at getting good results, and ends up getting low numbers because of it. Whereas on the flip side, might see someone, see if I can find someone who I would talk about in this manner. Ooh, Pilsner just went down. That allows Gebhardt through. Whiteley. Got Blakely mixed in here. Seabolt, Leclerc, Copeland. Got Seth Garrett in here, Kyle Carpenter, Chris Channing, Dylan Long, Jeff Cooper, Pachone, Rockefeller. So here we go. How about Holiak? Holiak's a good example. He was number 21. I don't think he's number 21 anymore, but someone who races the North America Supercross Series and does well in outdoors as well, but didn't race GPs last year because he's number 754 here. So you just get an indication how many people were kind of around a lot last year, how many people raced GPs a lot, things like that. It's kind of a weird sidebar in this whole situation. You can see more or less who plays a lot just by looking at the numbers in the game right now. Jack Haley, of course, defending Supercross champion, number 1 indoors. I believe his career number is now number 2 in North America Supercross and Motocross, but he's number 6 here. Got a question in chat. Who has the fastest lap? So let's take a look. Haley 2:19.2, 2:18.7 for Prokop, so it's a 2:18.7. Let's see if we can find someone doing better than that. And not looking like it. So 2:18.7, Zach Prokop, fastest lap of the race. Leclerc would be one of the people I thought would maybe contend with that. Leclerc is in 13th right now, but he did a 2:20.1 as his best lap, and clearly has just had to deal with lap traffic an enumerating amount of times this race. Well, it's not lap traffic, it's actual real traffic because he's battling with them, but kind of get the gist. It's not that easy to set hot times through traffic. Back here we see defending champion Adam Holm, atom.com. I don't know, I guess that's a new team. It looks a little bit like the Panini setup, which he was on for Supercross, but I guess he's on his own setup now, or maybe he has teammates. I'm not 100% sure on that situation, but I think he's just really happy to be back in the great outdoors. He seems to be more comfortable outdoors. He's won indoors as well, but he never was really the same guy indoors as he was outdoors when he was contending with Leclerc for the title for the last couple years, and obviously winning the GP championship last year. So in that sense, a little bit like Jesse Mullins, just not the exact championship caliber as Mullins was, but Mullins won 3 straight outdoor titles and no Supercross titles. So kind of the Eli Tomac effect, although Tomac might have a bit of a flip-flop here and win a Supercross title this year. All right, so kind of settling in things here. We're halfway through this race. Let's go ahead and do a top 20 rundown, and this one is going to be brought to you by the folks at Ride365.com. Looks like they've been on board here for the Outdoor National Program and the GP program, so good shout out to Ride365.com for being supportive of all of this, and big thanks for all the support year after year that they provide to MXSimulator.com. Head over to Ride365.com. Get your gear, apparel needs, and your tools or hard parts, other components that you need for your vehicles as well. Ride365.com, your one-stop shop for it all. Jack Haley, Jack Daniels Racing number 6, continuing to lead the race here in MXGP race number 1 at the MXSGP of Great Britain. Pretty much has led wire to wire thus far. He had a little bit of a challenge from Zach Prokop at one point, but so far so good. Trying to continue pulling away at the front. Second behind him now is Colton Mitchell on the Panini Motorsports number 43, I believe he is. And Mitchell was able to get around Prokop when Prokop fell, and since has just kind of settled into this second spot, not really made much headway onto Haley's lead, but good running at the moment and just trying to hold on to this position and maybe have a shot at a late race charge for the victory. Zach Prokop has drifted back to third, has the fastest lap of the race, but would probably like to be leading the race as well with that. Unfortunately for him, he fell. He's back to third on the Tegrity number 16, trying to regroup and go back after Colton Mitchell just up the road of him. Devin Davis, Takatoji number 33 running in fourth. New team for Davis. Seems like he's got a new attitude as well because he's running really strong. Devin Davis is happy. Seems to ride really well. Right now he's riding really darn well in fourth right now and holding off Reed Young on the Tegrity number 50, who is also putting in a really solid effort here. Another guy that you don't always expect to be up here, but ends up being up here fairly often. And trying to hold the pace right now is Walter Gebhardt on the number 5 Panini Motorsports machine is closing up behind him, and Gebhardt might have a run here to make the move into 5th. Let's stick with this battle for just a minute. Down the inside to the outside of the next corner. Let's see if Young has a challenge. No, Gebhardt passed. He goes up into 5th. So Young back to 6th. Here's 7th. MV Films number 15, Jeremy Cohenauer runs in the 7th spot. 8th right now is Adam Holm, atom.com, the defending champion, on the number 1. And Alexis Leclerc has clawed all the way up to 9th, and I just heard he did. He ran a 2:17.4, so he actually reset fastest lap of the race before this lap, not last time by, but he's up to 9th now. May catch Adam Holm before this thing gets really deep into the race, which is kind of crazy because they were in 2 very different locations of the racetrack not that long ago. But Leclerc is 9th for Rockstar Husky. 10th right now is Brandon Holmes, rival decal number 48. Chase Blakely runs in 11th for BPC number 21. Jeremy Siebold, he is in 12th right now for Panini Motorsports on the number 39. Will Whiteley on the number 8 MV Films ride. He is in, 13th, 14th? I forgot. 13th. Joseph Pilsner behind him is in 14th, swapmotolive.com. William St. Laurent on the Mad Cape machine is in 16th on the 886. Kyle Carpenter in 17th on the Tiger Designs. I don't see his number. Seth Garrett running in 19th for VlastimX.com. Or am I off again? No, he's 17th. I'm just all over the board. My head is turned into mush. But VlastimX.com, he goes down, loses a spot. Dylan Copeland goes by for 17th. Tiger Designs Factory Racing number 14. Garrett's going to get up in 18th on the number 100. 19th right now for Ash Deering on the number 34 BPC ride. And 20th, Jeff Cooper, Hemlock, number 32. I like that setup. Looks kind of cool. Got the Thor with the, is that a Shoei helmet? Kind of looks like. Shoei helmet, A-Star boots. No, Garnet boots, actually. So I was off there. And nice looking Cowie. Jeff Cooper running 20th. That's been a top 10 rundown brought to you by the folks at Ride365.com. All right, let's find ourselves a battle. Maybe Gebhardt closing up on Davis here. He got his way around Reed Young for 5th. Now claws his way up to Devin Davis for 4th. He did a 2:18.7 last time by and a 2:19.9 to Devin Davis's 2:27 flat. So clearly closing up here is Gebhardt and trying to make a good push here to get into 4th late in this moto. 22 minutes in, 8 minutes and 2 laps left to go. Race number 1 of the MXSGP of Great Britain. Gebhardt getting dangerously close to that pit wall as he comes down here. Just trying to apply any kind of pressure to Devin Davis. Maybe Davis momentary lapse there as he thinks about him behind. Tripling up the hill down the inside. And Gebhardt through the valley to the other side has definitely got Devin Davis in his crosshairs now. Let's see if he can make a move down here. Davis is going to have to settle and go outside. No, he crosses over, still uses the inside and blocks it off well there as they jump down the hill. Back up the hill they go. Gebhardt still just looking for the opportunity to jump in front of Devin Davis here if he can. This would be 4th. This would be pretty big. Points, points, points early in this championship, especially with Leclerc having to come from behind. Gebhardt would love to take as many points as possible here. Devin Davis getting saucy. I like it. But not too long anymore, though, as Gebhardt sneaks down the inside to make the move, gets it done, and moves along into the 4th spot. 18 seconds down of Prokop. Got a report in chat that Holm went down, and it appears to be the case as he is now behind Kohenauer and Leclerc. So let's see if Holm can regroup here and maybe go back after the number 15 MV Films ride. Up to the top of the hill, Kohenauer scrubbing it down nicely. Holm just trying to regroup. Obviously, Leclerc's got around him. Leclerc up to 7th, did another 2:17 last time by. He's trying to catch Reed Young here. That'd be crazy if Leclerc could end up 5th in this one. Get a top 5 from as far back as he was. He was absolutely buried in the field. I think in his mind, he's probably just happy he's in front of Holm. See what lap time is this time by. Carrying speed in that last corner, 2:20.2. 4 seconds, almost 5 seconds faster than Reed Young last time by alone. And he's only 5 seconds down right now, so interestingly enough, if we stay on board with Leclerc, we may just see him catch Reed Young this lap. Let's see if that happens. Down by the mechanics area, curious what lines Leclerc's using. He's carrying a lot of speed, a lot of 5th and 4th gear, which is kind of Leclerc's mantra. He's always in a really high gear. Look at how much speed he carries down that hill. Blows the corner, but still just on the gas all the way through. It's like, it's almost insane how well he can ride in this game. Already got it down to 2.9 seconds. And just clicking time down slowly but surely. Lost a little bit of time right there. Had to take a different line. Corner speed, corner speed, corner speed. It's what Leclerc is so good at. He's got a setup that just really hooks up in the corners. For a long time, he just ran 100s and 0s, but he goes down right there. Leclerc caught a rut wrong and hits the deck. Adam Holm not going to be able to get there in time to get back around him, but Holm did make the move back around Kohenauer, so that's good news for him. Reed Young going to breathe a huge sigh of relief because he was absolutely being caught right there. And Gebhardt still continues his chase after Zach Prokop. Colton Mitchell tiptoeing in his jorts through that corner. And Jack Haley checks in again out front. He's moving on to lap number 12, 25 minutes, almost 26 minutes into this race. So he is literally about to lead this thing wire to wire with very little challenge. And I'm sure that's exactly how he wanted to start his season here in the GPs. So Holm now can see Leclerc. Curious if this lights a fire under him a little bit. Maybe he starts putting in some really good consistent laps. He did a 31.6 last time by. Is this lap time going to be his fastest lap yet? Will he run something in the 19-20 range perhaps? up to the top of the hill, up the triple. Settling down to the inside there. Goes to the far inside and then goes middle red here, which we saw a little bit of a problem there in the MX2 races, but a 222.3. So Leclerc, even with a fall, does a 28.6, and he's going to get Devin Davis anyway because Davis just went down. He just got back up from a crash. There goes Leclerc down the inside, makes a move on Davis. He's back up into 6th now, and again, going to try to set sail after Reed Young up the road. I'll tell you what, Davis, not laying over easy, wants to go back after Leclerc, trying to perhaps size him up, but Leclerc's corner speed is ridiculous. He's already out of shot before you even see Davis get to the corner there. So Davis kind of tiptoes through that rut, heads back up the hill. You can see Holm creeping up in the background. Ooh, big swap there on landing for Holm. Now dropping back down the hill. Ooh, Davis, another mistake. Holm trying to swing around the outside. Davis has this preferred inside line. They're going to come out nearly side by side. Oh my goodness, there was nearly contact there. But Holm does make the move on Davis. Tucks to the inside, heading up the hill, and controls the position. Trying to keep pace with Leclerc as Leclerc continues his march towards 5th, which is Reed Young. And oh, that's going to be it right there. Young just made a huge mistake. Leclerc's going to peek down the inside. Probably going to say thank you very much, although Young fights back. Oh, he goes down. Was trying to triple mid-rhythm there, but maybe got overzealous. It's going to allow Holm to go by. Davis goes through. There goes Jeremy Seebold as well on the 39. So Seebold also finding his way charging through the field here. Tucked down the inside of Davis. Davis trying to fight back in the mid-rut, but Seebold controls him through the corner and makes the pass again. Tell you what, Seebold has caught Adam Holm very quickly here as well. Holm was just trying to get away from Devin Davis, but before he knew it, he has Jeremy Seebold breathing down his neck. Former teammate Jeremy Seebold breathing down his neck. Adam Holm on this new team here, this atom.com ride, is Panini Motorsports. Jeremy Seebold, the Supercross champion, trying to get a pass made here. Going to go side by side. Dualies, little scrub dualies, as down the inside goes Seebold. Let's see if he controls it in this corner. Really tough to kind of see from here, but he's going to get the line and make the pass. Holm has to go back to the drawing board there as Seebold blows by him and sets sail after Leclerc. Ooh, Colt Mitchell and Zach Prokop about to settle a battle for second. They're still too far down on Haley to make something happen up there, but they're definitely going to try to figure out who's going to finish second in this race as they head back up the hill. Outside goes Mitchell, inside goes Prokop. Dropping down and hitting the quad back up the hill. Prokop, let's see if he can try to slingshot an outside move here. This inside line still seems pretty OP. And cutting back to the inside here. Got to hit that big roller though, so it's always kind of sketchy dropping into a rut like that that's blind. And they're getting around a couple lap traffic here. Kind of splitting them, I guess. I believe the 17 is Andrade. Not sure who the 80 is. But Mitchell able to get around him, as did Prokop. And the 17 is Andrade. The 80 is Chris Channing on the Architect ride. Outside move, Prokop coming in. Not quite able to get there. Just applying so much pressure right now, though, to Mitchell. Just trying to make him think about it. 2-lap board coming out as Mitchell has to cut through the tough blocks just to hold the position there. Let's see where Haley is. Wow, actually, you know what? Haley's not too far out in front of this moto. These guys kind of catching him. Excuse me. As Mitchell 4 seconds down. Prokop obviously right behind him. They both did 224s, but Haley just did a 222. So actually, it was closer, and Haley just extended it. As down goes somebody in the background, flipping off the racetrack. Oh, Mitchell flips off the track with him. That is the 79 there. I forget who that is. Got to start writing these numbers down. There's so many new number changes. But Prokop moves up to second. And Mitchell gets going still ahead of him in third. Here's Gebhardt in fourth. Got to note that Leclerc went down. I think I actually saw that in the background, but he's still in fifth. Adam Holm is sixth, and Seabold is still right behind him in seventh. So here's another close battle kind of brewing here. Down by the mechanics area. Ooh, big kick there by Seabold. Riding the nose in this game is not fun, and Holm blows the second rut, and Seabold takes full advantage of it to make the pass. Oh, Holm fighting back though. Look at this. Oh, contact, and Holm goes down. Got into his rear tire there, and he's off the bike. He is not going to lose a spot though, just lose a lot of time as Reed Young, Brandon Holm still back here kind of fighting for some battles amongst each other. They got Kohenauer hot on their heels. So there's definitely some nifty battles going on throughout the field. This one's a pretty tight one actually. Holmes. Gosh, that crossover angle, it's so tough to tell depth perception sometimes on these cameras. But Young holds the position. Holmes would like to have a say. And Young just made a mistake, so Holmes going to get a drive up the hill here. He's going to pull alongside. Oh, Young flips off the track. Down he goes. So Holmes makes the move. Here comes Kohenauer trying to get into the mix as well. Dropping down into the valley, quadding up onto the other side of the racetrack. Hard landing there. Then tucking down to the inside. Holmes had to kind of regather himself and get into that rut, and Kohenauer is trying to apply the pressure now. Double, triple, double. These guys all go to that inside line. No one's swinging outside tripling. Kind of a 250 exclusive line, I suppose. Ooh, inside move, Kohenauer. Oh, man, that was really close. Not willing to bite his time anymore. He wants to make this pass happen and make it happen now. And Holmes doing everything he can to hold him off. This would be a really good seventh for Holmes if he can hold on to the position. White flag is, of course, waving. Top right-hand corner of your screen shows the white bar displayed on the lap 15 counter. Ooh, Leclerc's caught Mitchell. Leclerc has caught Colton Mitchell, and the battle is on here. This is for the 4 spot, I believe. Yes, it is. So Leclerc trying to make his statement ride through the field and get some really valuable points here, and he would do so by making a move here on Mitchell if he can somehow corral this thing together. Gebhardt too far up the road from them. Prokop still relatively within striking distance, but Mitchell just trying to not get passed by Leclerc. Oh, man. It's kind of a kicker developing on that table down into the valley. And Mitchell almost got caught out by it there. He's got a lap rider in his way, and that lap rider is going to get into him and take him down. Not sure who that lap rider is, but it's cost Colton Mitchell here. As Leclerc goes on by, he's going to move into the 4 spot. Meanwhile, up front, wire to wire, very quiet victory. Guys got close, but just not close enough. And in the end, MXGP Race 1 in Matterley Basin belongs to Jack Haley, Jack Daniels Racing number 6, as he finally finds the winner's circle in 2020. All of Supercross couldn't get it done, then first GP of the season wins the first moto. Of course, Jack Haley, you would. We're waiting for Gebhardt to come across the line. He'll be in 3rd if he can hold on here, but Leclerc would really like for him to have a fall. So Gebhardt ends up 3rd. Leclerc looks like he's just going to be fine with settling with 4th. Colton Mitchell will be 5th in this one. Jeremy Seabold, he was able to end up in 6th. Should stay there. Brandon Holmes is still 7th. But Chase Blakely's hot on his heels, and Kohenauer's right there as well. So these guys all trying to get a piece of Brandon Holmes on the final lap. Holmes just trying to hold on. Blakely almost landing off the inside of the track. Look at the line from Kohenauer carrying so much speed. Up to the top of the hill. Blakely trying to get into the line. One last turn. Holmes tiptoeing around. Kohenauer goes for a last turn pass. Doesn't get it. It's Holmes, Blakely, Kohenauer over the line. 7, 8, 9. Reed Young looks like he will end up 10th after this one. So a solid ride to kind of recover from a couple crashes there in the middle. Adam Holm probably disappointed here with an 11th in his first race defending this championship. Will Whiteley, 12th here. Devin Davis, 3rd and 4th. So much of this moto ends up 13th. Going to be disappointed there. Kyle Carpenter should be 14th, barring a fall. Joseph Pilsner is trying to get into the fray here with a couple corners to go. William St. Laurent also wants a piece of it, but he just went down himself. Gonna lose a spot to Ash Deering, perhaps? Indeed he will. So St. Laurent pushing a little too hard in the last couple of corners. Coughs up the 16th position. He'll end up 17th. 18th is going to go to D. Cope. Dylan Copeland over the line. James Armstrong 19th. But he just went down in the last corner, so Jeff Cooper may come in from 20th and change that. No, Armstrong 19th. And oh, Cooper just went down, but Seth Garrett looks like he's disconnected. So Cooper, when he crosses the line here in 20th, will be the last finisher. As 21st did not finish. 22nd was a lap down. Robert Wilson, Channing, Andrade, Long, Dallaire, Wisdom, Smith, O'Brien, Cohen, Rockefeller, Pachone, Holiak, Robson, Fisher, Hockey, Twiddle, Speck, Ferzaka, and Collins never left the gate, so not sure what happened there. Neither of those guys got off the line. Cuts are in. See if it affected anything inside of our points-paying positions. Yeah, Brandon Holmes, he lost those 2 positions, so he had 2.3 seconds of cuts, and in the end, it cost him 2 spots in the end. So Siebold ends up 6th instead, Blakely ends up 7th, and Kohenauer ends up 8th instead of Holmes finishing in front of both of them. So Siebold ahead of them in 6th. Mitchell, Leclerc, Gebhardt, Prokop, and Haley stay the same. Haley, Moto number 1 winner. Natalie Bazin, MXGP race 1 of 20 on the season. All right, 5-minute break coming up next. If you guys have any questions you'd like to ask myself, Kellen Brauer, I am here to answer them. Good to see a lively chat. Like I said, 5-minute break, but we're not going to go to a music break. We're just going to stay right here. Hope everybody's having a lovely night. Did someone say paid positions? Yeah, points paying positions. You get points for finishing there. But yeah, I should actually bring that up. Brady White, who just mentioned that in chat, is actually giving out prizes, cash prizes, cold, hard cash for winning the MXSGP championship this year. $50 to the winner of the 450 and 250 classes, $25 to second, and I believe it's 2,300 knobbies for third, so really, really cool of Brady there to put that together, give some cash prizes out other than the knobbies, and yeah, good stuff. Thanks a lot, Brady. Do I race these type of races? Not anymore. I think I saw you guys kind of briefly talking about it, but yeah, I raced pro. Let's see, first pro race I did was Southwick 2012. I finished 27th overall there or something like that. Got a couple points at the end of that season. Then I qualified and was the MX2 rider for the USA in 2012. I finished 11th in 250 East Supercross in 2013 and 7th in 250 Motocross. I got a podium at High Point. And then 2014, I raced 450s full time, and I think I got 16th indoors. And I won Budds Creek Moto 1 outdoors, but finished 7th. I was 5th in the championship until the last freaking moto. I lost 3 spots on the last lap of the race. If I didn't lose those 3 spots, I would have finished 5th in the championship. But because I lost those 3 spots, Tyson and Zach Dupuis got 256 points, and I got 254 points. So they they beat me by freaking 2 points. God, I was so pissed. But then I kind of retired from racing Pro Sim for a while and started these broadcasts with SYS and all that stuff. I raced all of 2016 Nationals. I think I finished 8th in points. And then I raced all of 2017 East Supercross and finished 4th in points and got 3 podiums or something like that. And then I was done. I was like, I got enough out of the game, I guess. I'm good with just streaming, so went back to streaming. And I've kind of enjoyed it since. Let's see, what else? No, I don't think I'm ever going to race again. It's too hard. This game is ridiculous. Thanks, Austin. I'm the champ in your heart. No, you're the champ in everyone's heart because you actually are a champion. 2011 Pro Motocross champion Austin Jones joining us in chat. Good to see him here. Who was the 2015 Southwick 450 winner? That's a good question. Jesse, probably. Maybe Hunter Root. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I was already fully loaded in and stuff. I didn't need to do that. My bad. My favorite part about this game, to be honest with you, this is such a dumb answer because it's kind of like the most toxic part of the game too, but it's the community. Like, when I joined this game, I was a nobody. I started writing articles for Race Factory Gaming that were like race reports of the races that were happening, and people seemed to enjoy it. So pretty quickly I started like talking to a lot of people, and some of my best friends are from this game. Obviously there's a lot of negative in this community, but I had a best man and 4 groomsmen at my wedding, and 3 of those groomsmen were people I met through Sim. So like, you know, it's kind of like a family. Like I met so many people in this game that are really good friends now, and if you meet the right people, it's such a good group of people that like you'd be surprised to think that as toxic as some people in this community are, there are so many good people in this community. You just have to kind of tread through some of the crap to find the diamonds, I guess. Thoughts on fast lappers in other games? Fast lappers, what does that mean? Like hot lappers? I don't know. They're crazy. Some people are gnarly, like speed running, but with car racing games. Who was the dude that was breaking all the lap records a couple years back? Jesse something? Yeah, Jesse Mullins broke a lot of lap records, but so did Alexis Leclerc. Alexis Leclerc broke a lot of lap records. Jesse was indefinitely banned by Race Factory Gaming because he, I think he was in part of a DDoS scheme, and then he key shared. Russ Chapman raced for him at High Point 2018 or something like that, or he raced for Russ Chapman or something like that. Anyway, they banned Jesse indefinitely, so 3-time motocross champion did some dumb stuff and then got banned indefinitely. Kind of sucks, but yeah. All right, it is time for Moto number 2 in Madeley Basin. Overall winner is about to be decided. Who's going to pick up the whole shot this time around? It was chaos going into the first turn last time. Does Adam Holm have something to say about it? Let's find out right now in Great Britain. Race 2 is go. Holm gets a pretty good jump. He's going to get beat to the corner by Leclerc in a much neater start this time. Look at actually almost nobody fell. A couple guys fell on the outside, but it is going to be Leclerc picking up the whole shot. So this is bad news for the rest of the field as Leclerc is out front trying to make the pass on him as Dylan Long, but Leclerc shoots down the outside and holds on to the race lead. So Leclerc, Long, Whiteley, Adam Holm all mixed in here. We also have Chase Blakely at the front of the field and Kyler Hockey side by side. Obviously the big news out front though is Leclerc, and can anybody go with him? Look at the lead he's already established. Like, it's a freight train behind him, but he's got like a 2-second gap already established on Dylan Long, who for what it's worth is putting in a great ride in second, but have to imagine some of these guys behind him are watching Leclerc disappear ahead of him and going, dude, get out of the way, we gotta go. Oh, Holman, Whiteley almost hit each other. Long front flips the quad and goes down, yards himself. He almost landed it, but he ends up crashing instead. And Holm swinging outside trying to get around Whiteley. Whiteley will hold the position. Holm is going to go middle right here. This is where he was tripling in. Oh my goodness, almost landed on Whiteley. Triples again down the inside. Whiteley shuts the door. I don't know how they didn't make contact right there. That was dangerously close. And Blakely behind them just licking his chops, waiting for them to yard each other so he can take over second. Holm still looking down the inside. Whiteley defends. All the while, Leclerc is saying, sayonara. He is gone, folks. Look at this lead already. Insane. Look at, there's Whiteley just coming down into the background. This is one lap. And Leclerc stretching out an early lead. And this is what he does, folks. He gets good starts. He gets huge leads. And it is really, really tough to beat that combination. So Whiteley comes across second. Blakely has moved around Holm into third, so Holm is trying to regroup, make a pass. Siebel with a good start this time. He's in fifth, and he's trying to go down the inside of Adam Holm here at the end of the pit straight onto the start straight. And Siebel does indeed make that pass. Next up, Blakely, if he can go after him and get him. Jumping down the hill. You can see Holm trying a different line than everybody, but oh, Siebel thought he might get into the back wheel. Blakely there triples up to the inside. Oh, stuffs it in the corner. Blakely hits him. They all go back by, so Siebel, just as quickly as he made a couple passes, loses them right back. Now Holm trying to make the move back around Blakely if he can. Dropping back down the hill. Blakely right now just trying to manage, not really trying to think about what's going on behind him. Clearly there's somebody right there, but he would love to go after Will Whiteley if he can. So change the mindset. Look at what's ahead of you. Stop thinking about who's right behind you. Kind of get in that tunnel vision mode. You can start riding your own race again instead of thinking about where Holm might go. But it is a little bit tough, especially when you can hear the guy that close. Holm is not that far off. So back up the hill they go. Look at Leclerc. This lead is insane, and he goes down just as I say that. Just in time to switch to Leclerc, and he goes down with the lead. He's going to get up still with the lead. That's how big his lead is. Just shy of 2 laps in, he gets up. He still has a 3-second lead or whatever this is, 2-second lead. Unbelievable. But Will Whiteley is still in second and trying to close up on him. Blakely, Holm, Siebel. Little freight train here trying to decide these early positions at the front. Blakely made a small bobble, so Holm's trying to take advantage of it, pull alongside of him. Siebel trying to get back into the action, scrubs hard on the table, lands side by side with Holm. Holm tries to shut the door, just runs into the side of him, and down goes Siebel. So Holm, maybe sensing that Siebel was on his inside, dove over to the right really hard and made contact with him, and down goes Siebel. So 2 laps in a row, Siebel kind of a bystander there, Blakely down to the bottom of the hill, tucks inside. Holmes still thinking outside options, and Leclerc is just thinking, let me just set my qualifying lap times and I'll win this thing no problem. Chase Blakely right there. Adam Holm trying to peek down the inside if he can. How about Colton Mitchell? Colton Mitchell finds himself up here near the front. No sign yet of Jack Haley, our first Moto winner. Let's go back and find where Haley is. Moto number 1 winner. Jack Haley is currently in 18th? No, 21st. So Jack Haley not the start to his Moto he would like to have. But this will be an interesting test for him, given that the first Moto he hole shot and led every lap. So this Moto, what is he going to do with a bad start? Can he claw his way deep inside of the top 10? About to find out this time. Sean Smith just up the road at him. Almost gets into the back of Fernando Andrade. Jet Wisdom jumping over the top of Robert Wilson. And Dylan Long, who is running right at the sharp end of the field, trying to make things interesting a little bit earlier. Now falls behind Kohenauer, but Kohenauer has Hockey just ahead of him. So really just close action kind of throughout the top 10. And Leclerc out front has already almost reestablished that 10-second lead that he had just about 2 laps ago. Again, pulling out a big lead. Connor Holiak, Kyle Carpenter set to do a little bit of battling on the race tech table here. Let's see. Oh, Holiak lands on him. Down he goes. Let's see if everybody can go around Holiak. He's in a precarious spot there. No, he gets hit by Jet Wisdom. And other riders split him as he gets going. Looks like he lost about 7 spots there. Maybe 8 as Haley trying to creep up here. And Haley will indeed make that pass. Set sail after Andrade ahead of him. Andrade makes a mistake. Haley tries to take advantage, and Haley will take advantage. So Haley right now in a pretty good charge through the field. He's pretty good at these, to be fair. Supercross, he did a lot of it. Started 19th, finished 3rd type of thing. Right now he's starting outside the top 20, trying to claw his way deep inside of the top 10 to salvage some good points on the day. The benefit that a lot of these guys have is, although Leclerc is leading the race and likely will win the overall, he was 4th in the first Moto, so he doesn't really have it as clean sailing as he would hope. He had a pretty long drive through the field in that first one. Got Walter Gebhardt, Colton Mitchell, kind of side-by-side teammates. William St. Laurent just up ahead of them. This looks like it's a battle for, I believe, 6th right now. Is down the inside. That is going to be Mitchell trying to peek down the inside. Gebhardt also right there to take advantage of it. So close together here. And it is going to be Mitchell going middle rut to make the pass on St. Laurent. Gebhardt trying to scrub around the outside. Let's see if he cuts back underneath. No, he stays wide. Tries to get a sweeping line and gets pushed off as St. Laurent kind of bounces into his line there. Going up the race tech table. And now down the inside goes Gebhardt. He's going to try to complete that pass, and he will as he shuts the door on St. Laurent going on the uphill triple. That moves Mitchell to 6th, Gebhardt to 7th. And they will now set sail after Seabolt, who is probably fuming at the maneuver Adam Holm just pulled on him. So that's going to be really interesting to watch when it gets to that point. How about Will Whiteley, though? Still holding on to 2nd. Leclerc is gapping the field lap after lap, but Whiteley just says, I don't really care who's behind me. I am holding on to 2nd. And I like that mentality. He really wants to go after it, but he just yards himself down the hill, goes down. There goes Blakely. There goes Holm. There goes Seabolt. Let's see if he gets up before... No, Mitchell goes by, and Gebhardt also goes by. So Whiteley from 2nd back to 8th in literally a blink of an eye. And I guess in any indication, 10 minutes into this, it just shows you how close everybody still is. As Seabolt almost through the front door there, just got a big kicker on the table and then almost sideways coming down the hill. He is definitely trying pretty hard to catch Adam Holm right here, and probably for good reason with that Holm cutover maneuver that put Seabolt on the ground a little bit earlier. 14-second lead though for Leclerc as Blakely now moves into second, Holm third, and Seabolt up to fourth. Mitchell fifth, Gebhardt sixth, and back to seventh. Actually went widely, not eighth. My apologies. Look at that, Seabolt, big scrub on the uphill triple. Let's go on board with the number 39 lap time check after he gets into fisticuffs here with Adam Holm, most likely. No, I'm sorry, he's going to go down instead. All right, lap time check. Leclerc, 18 flat, did a 16.4 as his best lap. Incredible. He did a 15.7, I think, as his qualifying time, so he's not too far off of qualifying there. Blakely behind him did a 21.9, so clearly 5 seconds off of Leclerc's fastest lap, and just last lap alone was almost 4 seconds off of him. But definitely trying his hardest right now to hold on to second is Holm on the 21.5, trying to keep things interesting. 19.5 for Seabolt, and a 19.7 for Mitchell. So top five kind of got somebody laying down burners out front. A 2:21 of Blakely. Oh, Blakely! Oh, he saved it. But he's going to lose a spot. There goes Holm down the inside. And Seabolt was not quite able to capitalize there. But Blakely, big moment there. Fortunate not to fall off the bike, and now trying to go deep inside into this corner, hook that inside rut, and try to get back around Holm. He got that line really cleanly. I'm impressed there because not many people have made that line work, but Blakely just did. And he got another good inside hook here. He's actually putting pressure on Holm to get back into the 2 spot here. And Holm just taking outside lines galore. Everywhere he can go outside, he's going outside right now. Swings outside there, clips a tough block. He's going to triple up to the top of the hill here. Go to the outside of the inside ruts with the second rut there. Blakely trying to close up, make things interesting again though. Doesn't want to go over without a fight here. Back to the top of the hill. And you can see Seabolt has kind of reeled them back in, so it almost looks like Holm may be riding defensively just a little bit, kind of holding the train just a little bit up so everybody can kind of tighten back into this group. Tripling up to the top of the hill. And the crowd is absolutely stoked at this battle. You can see the air, or you can hear the air horns ripping in the background. And there's that line Holm's been taking. He goes middle rut, triple, triple, single. Everybody else ducking inside double, triple, double. And it looks like it gained him a couple tenths there, at least on Blakely. At least enough to have some breathing room and not have to think about him right on him there. Seabolt blows the inside rut. Loses a little bit of time to Blakely. Mitchell's still lurking back here. Gebhardt would like a piece of this battle if he can as well. And Will Whiteley's regrouped nicely to kind of stick with them. William St. Laurent having a good turnaround moto here. He's got Devin Davis breathing down his neck. Then here's Pilsner with Haley. So Haley's marched forward. He's about to try to crest into 10th right now as he's right behind P10. Pilsner trying to hold on for all it's worth, though. 10th is certainly a lot nicer than 11th. It just has a nicer ring to it. But there goes Haley peeking down the inside. Going to try to complete this pass in the next corner. Let's see if he shuts the door. He does, and Pilsner goes down anyway, so Haley moves up to 10th. See if he can set sail after these guys up the road a ways. Oh, meanwhile, Blakely got back around Holm. So there you go, Chase Blakely. Not laying over for anybody. Gets back around the number 1 and moves his way back into second. Holm now trying to pick up on his lines and figure out where he was gaining time on him so he can move back around him. And he may just have found a good line right there, triple to the inside, closing right up on Blakely's rear wheel once again. Down the inside. Those lines are dangerous. But Holm backs out of the challenge just a little bit to not make contact with Blakely, and wisely so. because that would have been a big one at pretty high speed going down the hill. Could have rolled forever as Blakely tucks the front wheel on corner exit. Down he goes. And there goes Siebold. There goes Mitchell and Gebhardt also. But not quite able to get there was Whiteley, so Blakely still gets up in the 6th spot. Meanwhile, Gebhardt and Mitchell continuing their little freight train towards the front as they have caught Siebold. See, here's all these guys that go 2, 3, 2. Meanwhile, Holm, he just goes a little bit wider in that corner before he clips that middle rut. And to be honest, it looks smoother because he doesn't have to hit the big hump on corner entry. And then he goes 3, 3, 1 and can kind of carry a little bit more speed into that next corner as well, hopping into the rut. Just seems like it's given him just enough to pull away from this group for at least the time being. Nobody touching Leclerc right now. Halfway through this thing, 16 minutes down, 14 minutes and a couple laps left to go. Leclerc in control out front, which he has been since the start of the race. Even a crash on the second lap couldn't deter that. And look at, he's even wheeling down the start straight. Definitely feeling the flow right now is the number 7 machine. Let's see what lap time he just ran. 18.9, so still in the teens. And the track is definitely deteriorating. 22-second lead. Crazy stuff, man. This Frenchman has won a lot of races, a lot of championships. Gonna be tough to beat in this GP championship if he rides like this all year. No doubt about it. So yeah, Holm definitely is, it's not big, but stretched out the gap on Siebold and the rest just a little bit. Looks like they have all lost everybody else. Blakely, Gebhardt, and Mitchell are all a little further back now. In fact, Blakely is ahead of Mitchell and Gebhardt again, so clearly they either fell or had some sort of mishap that caused Blakely to at least get by one of them. Maybe he just straight up passed Gebhardt, we didn't see it, but they've lost touch with that Siebold-Holm battle that was going on, so kind of curious how that's gonna play out. Let's actually do a top 20 rundown while I can, because I just don't want to miss any of this tight racing up front. This top 20 rundown is brought to you by Brady White, who is providing funds to the winners of the championship this year. $50 cash prize on available for the champion of the MX2 and MX1 World Championship and the RF North America Championship of the Grand Prix Series. $25 for second in both classes and $2,300 nobbies in third. So Brady White's bringing you this top 20 rundown. Big shout out to him for supporting the series and bringing some donations the way of our winners. Alexis Leclerc leading this thing on the Rockstar Energy Factory Husqvarna, number 7. And he has got a sizable lead. Fastest lap of the race. Whole shot, led wire to wire. Pretty much a grand slam of a race, if that's what you want to call it. And he is pretty much unheated at the front. Nobody even close. Second is Adam Holm, defending champion, atom.com, number 1. Trying to kind of have a better turnaround to his day, I guess, because it was not a good first moto. He finished 11th, went backwards most of the moto. Right now he's second and has kind of jockeyed his way up there. It wasn't like he started there and he's been there. Kind of had to start in about 5th, work his way up to second, and so far so good in this moto. Obviously he'd like to catch Leclerc for the win, but right now little out of the question. Behind him, Jeremy Siebold. Panini Motorsports number 39 is cartwheeling down the hill. Siebold just cannot catch a break right now as he settles in at the bottom of the hill. Let's see if he stays in third. He is not going to stay in third. He's going to get up behind Walter Gebhardt, Panini Motorsports number 5, as he moves on through. So Gebhardt into third. Chase Blakely, BPC number 21. He moves up into 4th now. So he's cruising right along. 5th right now is Jeremy Siebold, Panini Motorsports. So he got up from his crash, and he is still right in the mix of things here. Colton Mitchell in 6th, but he just crashed again and should still get up in that spot. Let's see. Devin Davis coming up the hill. Nope, Mitchell holds the spot. So he is, that's right, 6th for Mitchell. 7th, Devin Davis, Takatoji, number 33. New team, new look, new Devin Davis, question mark? Well, right now at least he is. He's looking really strong. Good first moto. Second moto right now, 7th, holding off Jack Haley, who won the first moto. Jack Daniels Racing, number 6. He's in 8th right now, trying to claw his way as far forward as he possibly can so that he could possibly still end up on the podium overall here. They just all went around Chase Blakely, so now 7th for Haley, 8th for Blakely on the 21 BPC ride, 9th for William St. Laurent on the 886 Mad Cape ride, and 10th is Will Whiteley on the number 8 MV Films machine. So that's the top 10. Back to 11th, Kyle Carpenter. Tagger Designs running in the kind of by himself right now. Ooh, just threw naughty on the uphill quad though. Look at Carpenter. Must have known he was on the stream. He just got absolutely dirty for us. That was sweet right there. As Kyler Hawking is coming in behind him on the MXS Magazine number 25. Still can't get over how sick that whip was though. That was sweet. Joseph Pilsner, SwapMotoLive.com. He's running 13th and getting away from Zach Prokop with the Integrity machine, who just went down. Prokop not having the second moto he was hoping for here, and he's going to get put back to the ground, as instead going by was Caden Speck. And Speck now finds himself in 14th. Dylan Copeland, Tiger Designs Factory Racing, he's in 15th on the number 14 machine. 16th for Sean Smith, the Morocco number 35. 17th, Jeff Cooper, looking for 2 points paying motos here. He is in 17th, like I said, on the number 32 Hemlock machine, trying to get around Sean Smith here, though. See if this line works. Hasn't worked for anybody, but it works for Cooper. Nice job, up to 16th. So Smith back to 17th. 18th, Ash Deering, BPC number 34. 19th for Prokop again. So he's trying to fight his way back to the front. And the TG ride, number 117 of Dylan Long, rounds out your top 20. Is just in front of Jeremy Cohenauer. And that is a top 20 rundown brought to you by Brady White. So here's Leclerc out front, tiptoeing his way around. Holm, Gebhardt, Siebold, and Mitchell top 5. Just got great views of all of them. Mitchell just went down though. Ooh, that's an interesting way to get up, but he just got passed, so Jack Haley moves into 5th. And Haley continues his charge forward. 1-5, probably going to be good enough for a podium today. He actually, you know what? Not out of the potential for the overall win. Siebold, Gebhardt, if he can get to Gebhardt, that's a tough task, I would say. But if he could, 1-3 gets him the overall. We'll have to see whether or not he knows that, or whether or not he's even trying. He may just be going for everything it's worth and trying to get as many positions as he can. But maybe he has someone telling him that Gebhardt is in 3rd, and that's where he would like to get to. Obviously right now he's kind of too busy dealing with Colton Mitchell applying the pressure from behind. Mitchell trying to charge back forward, and Haley's done a terrific job working his way through the field here, just so methodical. Haley is, it's ridiculous because he's so fast. If you guys have ever seen Jack Haley is an animal on Start Your Systems, fastest lap ever at Southwick, it was insane. He is so fast, but it almost doesn't look like he's, I don't know, like it's not that he's not trying, but he just looks so smooth that it's insane. Like Leclerc, you know he's riding balls to the walls. Same for Holmes, same for Siebold, any of those other guys. Haley is just smooth as butter, rides through the field, so methodical, really calculated rider. And right now trying to solidify his spot on the GP podium for the first round of the season with a 5th in the second moto, and maybe a 4th if he can run down Jeremy Siebold. It's weird, I shifted away from everybody and crashing started happening, and now I'm back with everybody and they're just running nose to tail and nothing's really happening. Devin Davis back here, creeping up on 5 minutes and a lap left remaining. The first round of the Race Factor Gaming Grand Prix Series. Davis at the top of the hill, just no pressure from behind as Blakely now gets to the top of the hill himself. But Whiteley might have something to say about what's going on with Chase Blakely up there, but not really close enough yet to make something happen. Kyler Hockey dealing with Joseph Pilsner here. That's a close battle. Kyle Carpenter just went down. Let's see if he throws more sauce for us on the quad, or if we just got a one-time thing. I swear, if he dead air Leclerc's this. Well, let's see what he got. It's a little scrub. Not as cool as what we saw the first time out of Carpenter. We'll just leave it at that. Prokop, Caden Speck dealing with some pressure from Copeland. Ooh, Speck, little case there. Copeland takes advantage of it, but Speck trying to fight back. No, Copeland shuts the door. And that is going to be for 15th. Oh, Speck. Oh, my goodness. Cased the triple and, like, plowed into the next face on the 4th jump there. That was almost a big one for Speck there. Copeland trying to run down Prokop. Carpenter ahead of these guys. Kyler Hockey, just a quiet moto. Not a lot of position changes for him, but also a good thing because he hasn't gone backwards with all the chaos that's been going on. Pilsner, couple problems there in the final corner. That's allowing Hockey to close up a little bit. We got dualies over the finish line jump, and Hockey still throwing some sauce at Pilsner. This goes for the dead air. Ooh, Pilsner. I'm sorry, that was Hockey almost getting hung up on the back of Pilsner. So this is for 11th right now. Down by the mechanics area they go. Trying to stay far left and out of those bumps. Back up the hill they go. Triple to the top, and it's going to be... Oh, it's so close. Pilsner trying to get the drive down the hill. Look at Hockey peeking inside. Does he get the line? No, Pilsner shuts the door. Meanwhile, here comes Carpenter from behind. So this is actually turning into a pretty tight battle. Oh, big one. Pilsner saves it, though. All out of sorts at the bottom of the hill. 4 riders, nose to tail, coming back up the hill. Pilsner might pass them all again as he goes inside. 4 different lines being utilized there as Pilsner does lose a spot to Hockey. Here comes Prokop trying to get through all of them. Carpenter loses a spot. Prokop tucking inside. See, they all quad up the hill, a little scrub. 4 riders, nose to tail. Prokop trying a different line. Look at that outside move, and it works as he gets to the inside in the corner on Pilsner. Incredible speed there from Zach Prokop. Meaning business here. He wants to get back inside of this top 10. Now he sets sail after Hockey. Oh, look at this outside move. Oh, man, Prokop trying so many different lines. You can see how much more chopped out on entry some of these corners are getting. And Prokop goes inside there on the choppy part and makes the pass on Hockey. So Prokop has successfully gone through all these guys and then immediately makes a mistake, and they all go right back by him. Oh, my goodness, how unfortunate there for Prokop. Triley's over the finish line jump, though. Are we going to get some more dualies, Triley's, something, anything? No, or they're all just dead air Leclerc in it? Come on, guys. What are we doing? Prokop is saying, I'm sick of this crap. I'm going back down the inside of everybody. I'm just going to pass you guys all. Never mind. I'm going to slide out. Here comes Pilsner. He's trying to get back down the inside. Prokop slinging it from the outside. Almost chops off his front wheel. What the heck is going on here? These guys are all over the place. So... here comes Carpenter now looking down the inside of Pilsner. See, he hooked this rut. Oh, just, yeah, he got it. And triples up the hill, gets the next rut cleanly. There goes Blakely finally around Hockey. And goodness gracious, these guys, this is for 11th. And you would think it's for the lead how gnarly the action is, but that was some mental racing right there. Let's peek back up front because I know I'm missing some stuff. Seabolt just made a mistake here. Wow, Devin Davis and Colton Mitchell and Jeremy Seabolt have been passed by Devin Davis. Devin Davis is up in 5th now, so we definitely missed something going on there. And Jack Haley's now up into 4th. Adam Holm has lost a spot. Gebhardt moved into 2nd. And Leclerc still has a giant lead, but 2nd right now, definitely still pretty close. Adam Holm, Jack Haley coming over the tabletop here. And Devin Davis just trying to hold off Seabolt and Mitchell. This is going to be a good three-way fight here. Mitchell and Seabolt have quicker lap times, but Devin Davis has this unmatched consistency about him that's really tough to beat. Oh, look at the scrubs, the dualies, love them. Could have been a night that I took shots. Oh, Seabolt plows into Davis and goes down himself. Davis goes off into the crowd there. Mitchell passes them both. Not sure where Seabolt thought he was going, but he plows Devin Davis off the track. So that puts Colton Mitchell up into 5th. Devin Davis is now 6th. Chase Blakely is now 7th. And Seabolt finds himself back in 8th. And Seabolt has had a frustrating moto, whether it was Adam Holm coming across him on the straightaway and taking him down, or just plowing Devin Davis right there. Not sure what that was about, but something's going on. And he's trying to get back around Chase Blakely here if he can. Ooh, Seabolt throws it into that outside, and Blakely, this guy's still not too far behind Devin Davis. This will be interesting if Seabolt gets back to Devin Davis. They're trying to go around the 80 there. Oh, Blakely. Oh, my goodness. So close there. So they head back up the hill. And this number 80 just not really moving right now. Yep, just right in the main line. Slows down, so I guess like trying to let them go by, but he's in the main line. It's Chris Channing, and he just absolutely blocks and takes down Seabolt there. So that's not going to be any happier for Jeremy Seabolt. He is very frustrated at the moment. And knowing how some of these situations transpire, wouldn't be surprised to see Seabolt just go for the full send takeout here on Chris Channing, who's a lap down. But Channing says, no, I'm sorry, I'll move out of the way. Definitely didn't seem like it was on purpose. He was trying to get out of the way, but just ended up in the main line. Here's Blakely closing up on Davis. Look at this. Outside line, a little smoother. Davis kind of bouncing all the way to the inside there. And Blakely peeking inside again, nearly side by side on the uphill triple. Davis trying to shut the door. Oh, Blakely tucks the front wheel, slides out. White flag, by the way. Jack Haley. Oh, man. Gebhardt and Holm so close together. Side by side up the hill. Holm trying to shut the door. Gebhardt gets the spot again. But if they get together, Haley may have the overall locked up. Look at that. He puts him down. Holm just blows by Walter Gebhardt and puts him on the ground. Here comes Haley to the top of the hill. This would be a shift in the overall if he can get around Gebhardt for 3rd here, as Leclerc is leading. But if Haley can catch and pass Gebhardt, this is going to be the overall Grand Prix. Oh my gosh, look at that line from Haley. 1-3 will beat Leclerc's 4-1. They are tied on points right now, 1-4 and 4-1 respectively. But the better second moto goes to Leclerc. He is going to win the overall unless Haley can make this pass on Gebhardt. Gebhardt trying to charge. He wants to get back to Holm if he can. But that late push here could cause him to go down. You never know. Meanwhile, 2 corners to go. He may have won the GP, but at the very least, he's won the race. MXGP Race 2 belongs to Alexis Leclerc. Emphatic win for the Frenchman. Wire to wire. Best lap of the race. Whole shot. Led every lap. Oh, Holm! Holm's off the track! He's off the track. He's trying to get back on. Here comes Gebhardt down the hill, and Haley is still right there. This is for the overall. Haley is lurking back there. Gebhardt wants to get back around Holm. Holm's just trying to hold on for a couple more corners. Gebhardt, oh man, Haley just made a mistake. Lap traffic. Reed Young in the mix. 1 corner to go. Holm holds it. Oh, mistake. Gebhardt, he's into the tough blocks, and he just gets over the line. Haley ends up 9/10 of a second down. Unofficially, Leclerc has won this Grand Prix, but we're going to have to wait for cuts because that is definitely very close. Colton Mitchell looks like he has got 5th place to himself. Devin Davis, Chase Blakely, and a lapped rider right there coming down the hill. Oh, Devin Davis and Blakely both getting a little sketch on the race tech table. Does Blakely have a last turn pass in him? He's trying. Look at this move. He's going to go to the middle right. Oh, tucks the front wheel on entry. Davis holds the spot. And Blakely is not going to get past. He is going to be just fine. He comes across in 8th. Will Whiteley trying to come across in 9th. And 10th. Looks like it'll be William St. Laurent. Ooh, Prokop. Lapped rider there. Kind of getting into him. Kyle Carpenter is still right behind Prokop, though. I don't know if Prokop knows how close Carpenter is because he's been dealing with that lapped rider there. But here, oh, look at this. Couple corners. Carpenter trying to swing outside. Prokop is going to get it, though, over the line, and Carpenter comes across in 12th. Joseph Pilsner looks like he's got 13th wrapped up. Kyler Hockey, he'll end up 14th in this one after that crazy battle. Here comes Ash Deering trying to get it. Last turn, not going to get there. And Caden Speck will get 16th, no doubt, because he is the last man on the lead lap. Dylan Copeland was 17th, 18th for Jeff Cooper, 19th Sean Smith, and 20th Brandon Holmes. I'm so interested in cuts right now. Is Haley going to get 3rd on cuts? We're about to find out. He does not get 3rd on cuts. Official winner, Alexis Leclerc wins the British Grand Prix with 4-1 scores. He ties Jack Haley, so there will be 2 red plates next week in Valkenswaard. But Leclerc gets the GP win. Haley ends up 2nd overall. And I believe unofficially it'll be Gebhardt 3rd, or maybe Mitchell 3rd. I'd have to look back at the scores. But it is Leclerc with the victory. Unbelievable way to end the night. That was frantic action to the very end. And really hope you guys enjoyed that one. I sure did. Whew, crazy night of racing. Almost 4 hours of streaming. And just a blast all around. Great racing. And a great audience watching you guys. This was a good night. Had a lot of fun. Of course, big shout out to all of our sponsors. Race Factory Gaming for helping out. Ride365.com being involved in the series. MV Films, Race Tech Suspension. Underground RC, of course, us here at Start Your Systems, and all of you guys for tuning in to watch every week. Brady White for putting in the money to, excuse me, give into the champions this season. And yeah, just everybody that helps out with this series. Jack Perry Designs, MV Films. I think I got everybody. Tagger Designs as well. You guys are the real MVPs. Big shout out to everybody that watched. And we'll be back next week with Valkenswaard for round 2 of the Race Factory Gaming Grand Prix Championship. But you've just watched round number 1 of the Race Factory Gaming Grand Prix Championship from Adderley Basin. From all of us here at Start Your Systems, we'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.